From high atop the hill on the campus of Shrewsbury High School, we say a very good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to playoff baseball here on RFM. Alongside Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins, Todd Robbins for RFM this afternoon. Great to have you along with us here on the campus at Shrewsbury High. Division I round of 8 action we have for you today. A 4-5 matchup as the Colonials of Shrewsbury bring their 20-3 record to home field to play host to the 5th seed, BC High's Eagles, at 17-5. Exciting action, looking forward to it here. How did these two teams get here? That's a great question. Stringing together a series of wins after preliminary round byes have been the key to get these two teams to where they are. Follow Shrewsbury across the top half here in the southwest section of this Division I bracket. Shrewsbury picks up a win 6-5 over Newton North, and then follows it up with a 5-2 win over Lincoln Sudbury to play their way to home field today. Meanwhile, for BC High on the bottom half of this southwest bracket, they get the first round bye, then a 6-4 win over St. Paul, and then a 5-1 win over Walpole. Plays BC High into this round of 8 matchup. Great to have you along with us once again. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and you here on RFM from high atop this campus here at Shrewsbury High on the field here at Shrewsbury High School. Going to be a lot of fun today. We're looking forward to some quality baseball action. We'll have the national anthem coming up. We'll take that in a matter of moments. But first, Bill Thomas, first thoughts here, playoff baseball. You hear some of the teams here. They've had some common opponents, especially here in Central Mass. That's been the impressive part for these two teams. We'll get to those common opponents. And your first thoughts, Bill Thomas?
We know that some of the Catholic schools do tend to travel outside the areas. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe St. John's might have been tossed in there, or some of the other Worcester schools. But, yeah, we'll have to see how that plays out.
First the national anthem, and then more here on RFM.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And a little technical difficulty brings along a spontaneous national anthem from the crowd here at Shrewsbury today. Congratulations to everyone here honoring America with our national anthem. Before we get started here with this 4-5 matchup, Shrewsbury and BC High. Let's run down. Go ahead.
Common opponents.
Common opponents was where we were
yes,
before
yes.
The national anthem
interrupted us, but Kate,
indeed,
great job leading the crew.
Two common opponents to speak of course, that we know of right off the bat. It's, of course, the crosstown rival, the St. John's Pioneers. They play in the same league as BC High now, playing in that Catholic Conference in Eastern Mass. It's a split for BC High with St. John's at home field, here at Pioneer Field in Shrewsbury, a 5-4 win back on April 27th. Then at home, a 6-3 loss to St. John's on May the 16th. They also picked up an 8-7 win over Wachusett back in early April. A 6-4 win over St. Paul in this postseason brings you to this matchup today. So these are opponents that, of course, Shrewsbury has seen right along. 9-3 win at St. Paul earlier this year. You talk about the matchups with Wachusett, a 10-0 win earlier this year. Also a 3-2 loss to Wachusett. And the story we have here, Billy, says it a lot in that 4-5 record. They're pretty darn even.
Yeah, even when it comes to common opponents, but records, seeding, these two teams have kind of mirrored each other's season, from beginning to where they are right now. They made it to this Elite 8 round, and expecting nothing but a great matchup today. Both teams are well rested and they're ready to go.
Let's set the starting lineups first for the Eagles of BC High and the 5th overall seed coming into this Elite 8 matchup. Mike Mann will bat leadoff, play second base. Nico Brini, the center fielder, bats second. The pitcher, Ronan Donahue, bats third. Cole Bohane, the third baseman, will bat in the 4 slot. The right fielder is Chris Capozzi. He'll bat 5th. The left fielder, Adam Regan. He'll bat 6th. The first baseman's Gavin Donahue, bats out of the 7 hole. In the 8 hole, the shortstop, Damian Brown. The catcher is Shea O'Reilly, and he will round out the 1 through 9 for the Eagles. Meanwhile, for the Colonials, they send their field to look a little bit like this. We'll go first with the pitching battery. It's David Siciliano gets the start on the hill. He'll throw to Jack O'Sullivan, who will handle the catching. Left to right across the infield, it's Coughlin, Ham, Kinski, and Bates. Right to left in the outfield, Singh, Martin, and Paris. We're ready for first pitch of this Elite 8 action. Mike Mann comes to the plate for the Eagles. Siciliano takes the bump with his 4-1 overall record, 42 innings pitched, and a 1.167 ERA coming into today's action.
He has been good.
Indeed he has. From the wind-up, here comes the righty. They show bunt, pull back. First pitch, 2 minutes early, 1:58 as we get underway, and it's a first pitch ball.
Right on time. I like this.
Early is on time,
Great
friends.
atmosphere, great crowd. First time doing a baseball game here. We're very familiar with this complex, but first time on this side of the field.
Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball misses to the inside, and the count goes to 2-0. Siciliano early, looking a little off, maybe missing a little to the inside. 50 strikeouts against just 8 walks in his 42 innings pitched.
Got to get the jitters out on both sides here. Everybody feeling each other out here in the early going.
Man shows bunt, pulls back, takes a fastball on the ground. Ham up with it, cross the diamond, and in time for out number 1.
Nice sure-handed play right there. Kind of surprised he's swinging on 2-0. I thought maybe it'd make him throw him a strike, but being aggressive right there. Good job by the shortstop.
An enthusiastic crowd, Bill Thomas, you said moments ago, and they are in this one from the first pitch.
Most of them to our left over here, but spread around to our right. A lot of lawn chairs here today and up in the outfield also.
That's one of the great things about this complex is that they have incredibly flexible seating in that you can essentially nearly probably a 280-degree view here. You can pick your poison. You're going to have plenty of room.
Siciliano's first pitch to Nico Brini. Brini goes with it, the lefty, into the gap in left center field. It's on the ground. He's on his horse, and he will pull up at second base as the relay comes in on one hop. But it's a first pitch swing for Brini. He takes it the other way into the gap in left center, and all of a sudden the Eagles have something cooking with the second batter of the ball game.
Yeah, Brini not wasting any time, picking on that first strike that he saw and drives it into the gap in left center all the way to the fence. Got to be about 375 out there for the center fielder. Finally retreated. Threw into second base. Would have been behind the runner, but Brini had already been pulling up.
Just the 20th hit given up this year by Siciliano. 19 hits coming into the ball game, 15 runs on those hits. 7 of them were earned, and it's a runner in scoring position for the Eagles as they go to the 3-hole. It's Ronan Donahue, the pitcher. Siciliano goes breaking ball, missed the inside corner. Donahue did a nice job to kind of turn into the pitch, I think take away a little bit of that river on the inside.
What does that say about your talent if you're the pitcher and you're hitting in the 3 spot for your team?
Pitcher's inability to hit is not always true. Here is the 1-0, and it's square between the shoulder blades. Siciliano's not happy about it. Neither is Donahue, who took the ball between the shoulder blades, and he'll trot on down to first.
And let's remember, that's the pitcher that just got hit.
Correct.
So we'll have to pay attention to that later on in the ball game.
Siciliano
not that Siciliano's not batting,
is not batting
but
today.
Maybe for his benefit, but doesn't mean
Who's batting first for
somebody
Shrewsbury?
else on the team might not be paying for it at some point.
The material point, though, is now 2 base runners on for BC High coming up with their 4-batter.
Runner on first and second. Siciliano in some trouble here, and he stands in the stretch. First pitch. Pulled foul outside of third base, and the count goes to 0-1. This is the first batter Siciliano is ahead of.
Yeah, Cole Bohan, he's the only sophomore in the lineup, too, looking up and down their lineup. senior laden, a couple of juniors mixed in, juniors, twins actually, Ronan and Gavin. But yeah, this is a spot where, you know, you got your youngest player on the team, one of the most important spots early in the game here.
You have a situation where if you're part of the coaching staff, you want your defense to be able to get their feet under them. And right off the bat, you're being challenged, so you're going to have to execute here.
0-1 pitch is high, popped up, and it will get out of play. No, wind held it up there. Ham got turned all around going into the fence. It ends up coming back into play, but it lands foul.
Yeah, it just took an odd, awkward line to it, but yeah, fell behind him. He would have had to reach back over his head. Good run, good effort, but fell harmlessly.
Kate, you talked about how great a facility this is. The thing that you see as you're sitting here at home plate and look out across the field is the undulation. The infield sits a little bit higher than the outfield and kind of rolls down a natural hill as it changes from infield to outfield.
It certainly does, and we know that the athletic staff here very much purists and traditionalists when it comes to the surfaces for baseball and for softball for their bat ball sports. So this is going to be a natural surface as long as the current athletic administration is here because of just how much they adore the natural surface. They've done a lot of tending to this particular venue in the last few years. It looks great, but there are some nuances, let's say, to the facility at times.
Third 0-2 offering coming up here. Siciliano gives a look at second, now brings the 0-2 breaking ball. This is a line shot into left field. On the run, making the catch is Paris, and he'll come up and hit the shortstop Ham with the relay for out number 2.
That's a big sigh of relief. If you are Siciliano going back to that mound, you are thanking all the stars and the moon above you that was fairly routine. You can get your second out, no damage thus far, but you still have, even with 2 outs, 2 base runners on here for the Eagles.
Brini at second, Donahue at first, and the 5-hole hitter is Chris Capozzi, the right fielder.
Yeah, ball hit right on the button at Paris. Good job right there, though, tracking it down, keeping his eye on it.
Siciliano looks at Brini, then brings the fastball. It's a bunt pushed there by Capozzi. Up the third base line, Coughlin charges and kills it foul outside of the third base line.
Capozzi looking for a base hit right there. 2 outs.
Well, the
third baseman's playing back. Go ahead, Kate.
You've got that because obviously with 2 outs and you have a runner on second base, having that bunt now pulls in that third baseman a little bit farther. And obviously being a left-handed hitter, the hitter has the advantage getting down to first base, able to, potentially manufacture more base runners for BC High.
Count is 0-1. Here's the 0-1 offering from Siciliano. Fastball hit on a line, shot and snared out of the air by Ham. A little trouble for Siciliano in the top of the first, but he's able to work his way out of it with a little help of his defense. 5 hitters come to the plate. 2 of them end up stranded on the bags and through 1/2 inning, where we started. Shrewsbury nothing and BC nothing here inside and on top of the hill here at Shrewsbury High School. Through 1/2 inning, it's Shrewsbury nothing and BC nothing here in Shrewsbury today. Shrewsbury coming up here in the bottom of the first. The order that Coach Lee Diamantopoulos will send to the plate 1 through 9 looks like this. The left fielder Andrew Paris bats that leadoff spot. A.J. Ham is the shortstop. He'll bat second. The center fielder is Alex Martin, bats third. The designated hitter is Ben Griffin. He will bat fourth. The third baseman, Colby Coughlin, bats 5th. Out of the 6th hole, it's the first baseman, Jack Bates. Dushyant Singh plays right field, bats 7th. The catcher, Jack O'Sullivan, bats 8th. And the 9-hole hitter is Ryan Kinski. He will play second base and round out the 1 through 9. The pitcher, David Siciliano, is not hitting. He is in that floating 10th spot at the bottom of the order. For the Eagles, left to right across the outfield, it's Regan, Brini, and Capozzi. Right to left across the infield, it's Gavin Donahue, Mann, Brown, and Bohane. O'Reilly does the catching for the starting pitcher, Ronan Donahue. Donahue, the right-hander. The muscles and the upper body strength is apparent, especially, Bill Thomas, when you don't fit in your jersey. You got to leave a couple of the buttons open.
Yeah, we like seeing that, and we'll have to see what he brings to the mound. But our big, strong kid, expecting a lot out of him today. We'll have to see how this game plays out. I tell you, Siciliano's lucky he got out of that first inning. Loud outs, some aggressiveness from BC High, but. Luckily, to hold him to a 0 on the scoreboard. So I'll have to see what Shrewsbury can come back here in the bottom of the first and the answer to that early action there that BC High threw at him.
Kate, you certainly know Coach Lee Diamantopoulos the best here, and of course, after what he saw in the first, there's got to be a couple of things that he likes. His team got in trouble, got themselves out of it without any damage. Now you go to the bottom half of the inning, you get your chance to come to the plate. He's going to look to get up and get on the board early.
I mean, you've already been able to hear pregame, Shrewsbury, their entire bench wants to stay up for this entire game. As you said, what we just saw May on defense actually be a little bit fortuitous for the Colonials because, as you said, they faced a little bit of adversity. They were able to maintain their composure. Hopefully it gets some of those, first inning jitters out for them. They can settle in, and then they can start to execute on the offensive end as well. And hopefully that's exactly what you're going to see if you're Coach Lee Diamantopoulos.
Paris comes to the plate batting .232, a .357 on base percentage. He's slugging .333. It's going to see the first pitch from Ronan Donahue. The righty comes across the top of the zone and misses high, and the count goes 1-0 to the left fielder, Paris.
Working quickly here.
Indeed he is.
Not wasting any time.
Sets at the chest from the windup. 1-0, kind of comes with that three-quarter pitch, comes across the waistline, catches the left corner, and the count is 1-1. For those of you joining us here on RFM for the first time, first of all, welcome. Second of all, this is a good old-fashioned radio broadcast with pictures. Cameras are stationary. They are in position. You're going to get some great looks at this facility, but the cameras are not going to be able to move to follow the action. So if the action drifts outside of the image, we bring you the old-fashioned radio play-by-play. As the 1-1 pitch misses down in the way, the count goes to 2-1.
Good job right here. Perez working the count a little bit, as a leadoff hitter should.
2-1 pitch, fouled up and out of play. Count goes to 2-2. We saw Paris back on April vacation in the game against Leominster, a day where he had a couple of things, a single, the most important of them, and some timely contact that moves some runners around the bases. Goes low there, knee high to slash that one out of play over the dugout, and we'll try another 2-2 pitch.
Good job by Donahue working back from that 2-0 count. Gets himself even on the board here at 2-2.
He is expeditious. He is ready to go here. Shrewsbury batter's going to be cognizant of that.
2-2 pitch is down shin high in the dirt, and the count goes to 3-2.
Tough breaking ball to lay off of right there, dropping off the table, but good job by Paris.
And now here comes Donahue's pitch. Cut on and missed for strike 3.
Comes back firing.
First K of the day on either side. The first one recorded by Donahue. Donahue gets a little bit of love from Bohane, who comes over from third base. And that brings A.J. Ham to the plate. Ham's having a great year at the plate, batting .434, a .494 on-base percentage. He's slugging .579. First pitch swinging, goes with it down right field. Over to give chase is Capozzi. A lot of foul territory, and he will make the catch on a full run.
That's an understatement, Todd. All kinds of room down there in right field. Unlike left field here, we got a fence imposing it down towards the corner. But, yeah, good job there by the right fielder getting down there. Getting that put out.
Not only a lot of room on the right side, dead ball territory well off in the distance. And so, as you said, Bill Thomas, plenty of room to work on the right side if you have a foul ball.
Yeah, Capozzi tracking that ball well, had it all the way. Plenty of room to spare.
Donahue's first pitch to the three-hole hitter, Alex Martin, the center fielder, is a called strike.
Donahue's starting to feel it, you can tell, and he is working briskly.
Looks out as he glares out over that glove, drops it down to the waist, and rocks and fires. And Martin goes with it into left field. A little skitter through the infield, finds the 5-6 hole, and it's a 2-out single here in the bottom of the first for the Colonials.
Both teams with a hit early on here, takes that out of play, and any tension that might go along with that. And it's good to see here a little action on both sides of the first inning.
Brings Ben Griffin to the plate, the designated hitter. Griffin got himself dug in at the back of that right-handed batter's box. And with the runner on at first, Donahue will move to the stretch. From the waist, he pulls that one wide. Count goes to 1-0. See him come way across his line, Kate, and kind of shove it across the plate and wide.
Yeah, trying to work that outside corner there, trying to get the batter to chase to the outside.
Goes quick move over to first, sends Martin diving back in.
Martin doing some dancing over there.
Donahue, he's got a quick move to first, you just saw.
He does.
He glares over the
Snaps.
shoulder, back at the waist. Here's the 1-0. Chopped on the ground, past the backhand of Donahue at first, and into right field. Station to station, up goes Martin to second. Griffin got the single, and with 2 outs, Colonials have got 2 base runners on.
Good job of hitting right there, driving that ball to right field, right through the hole where the first baseman normally would have been, but he's holding on that runner on first. Martin, nice solid single to right field for Griffith.
And already off the bat, Bill Thomas, you made a great point. Neither of these pitchers is going to be overpowering, it seems, here in the early going. So we're going to have some people on the dance floor, looks like.
Certainly looks like pitch to contact is the name of the game today. 2 runners on from the waist. Fastball comes right down the plate for strike number 1.
One of the things about that pitching, to garner contact, it's kind of nice. I mean, of course you like to see an overpowering performance from time to time, but especially in the playoffs, getting essentially everybody involved and being able to showcase absolutely everything that your team has to offer. I really enjoy that when you're able to see things, you're able to see some of the, that chess match, some of the managerial strategy and having to make moves back and forth. To me, that's an enjoyable game. Of course you like to see, outstanding singular performances from time to time, but playoff baseball, let's see what everybody's got.
0-1 fastball missed outside. Count goes to 1-1. Kate, I'll back up your point.
Hey,
I just think for the audience, it's far more interesting. And we talk about what is it about baseball that is the overall struggle with appealing to the audience in 2022, and that is it can be boring.
Well, pitching duels can be fun late in the game, but they can be boring early on.
1-1,
see some action.
Chopped outside of first, foul by Coughlin. Count goes to 1-2 with 2 outs. Martin down at second, Griffin on at first.
The BC High battery doing a lot of communicating here early on, which is what I like to see. One of the things you're not seeing from either of these teams is this constant looking to the dugout for information, for essentially inspiration. But a nice job. You can see the relationship between this battery for BC High with Donahue, settling Donahue down here.
The 1-2 pitch induces the ground ball. Donahue's got it, runs on over to first, flips it to his brother Gavin, and that is out number 3 to close the threat in the first. Through 1 here on the campus of Shrewsbury High School. No score, Shrewsbury and Boston College High here in the 4-5 matchup of the round of 8 in Division 1. For MIAA's baseball postseason. We step aside. We're back with more to the top of the second. We're at 6-7-8 due up for the Eagles. More to come. Stay with us. This is RFM. To the top of the second inning we go here on RFM. BC High comes back to the plate. And, of course, here in this postseason, it's the first postseason for head coach Steve Healy, a 58-year-old Hanover resident who grew up originally in Quincy, according to an article in the Patriot Ledger. Took over at the start of this season, replaced a legend. Norm Walsh retired after 3 state championships and 42 years as head coach of the BC High Eagles, who won more than 600 games. And Healy, Bill Thomas, keeps that momentum going.
Yeah, I tell you, those are some big shoes to fill, but a great start to his coaching career here at BC High.
Great year, get themselves into the postseason with a 5 seed, 17-5. Regan Donahue Brown due up in the order, and Regan discarded the first pitch he saw. Foul out of play, and the count goes to 0-1. Siciliano back to the full windup here in the 0-1. Fastball paints the inside for strike 2.
Good job right there. You know, starting this second inning off, Siciliano struggled a little bit with the leadoff batter in the first inning, but coming right at this batter here, leading off the second. Good to see.
Regan asking the home plate umpire for some information on that previous pitch.
Wanted to know where it was. Siciliano goes outside this time and misses. Count goes to 1-2 strikes.
As an umpire, Todd, would you say it was in the strike zone?
What I say was in the strike zone. I was going to say.
My hope is that things were not that contentious right off the bat.
It depends on how good the question was. 1-2 pitch skips in, knocked down by O'Sullivan.
It looked quite respectful. I think it was certainly just, you know, being a little bit inquisitive.
I was going to say, and you know, I don't have a problem with that communication, again, as long as the approach is good, and that's certainly what it looks like from where we are here.
Yeah, no problems there.
2 strikes to Reagan at the plate.
Bill Thomas going porcupine right off
right
the
away.
bat.
2-2 pitch, ball down and in, count 3-2.
Todd and I have both spent time wearing the mask, obviously at different levels, but I can relate to the men in blue out there. I love it.
All I can say is, Bill Thomas, I'll tell you this. The conversations when you're working in fast-pitch softball with female athletes and elite
about the
female
same as
athletes,
I had with little leaguers.
It's a different level of conversation. Payoff pitch to Regan. Chopper on the ground. Waist-high field for Coughlin. Comes across the diamond high, and that will go out of play across dead ball territory. E5 on that one. Great effort by Bates to try to reel it in, but that is one of the other things. You've got a 3/4 fence line here, as there is fences all the way down on the left field side of the field, but on the right field side of things, past the first base dugout, there is a dead ball line.
That's
An
it.
errant throw is out of play.
That's it. Got to judge the line, but yeah, no fence to help you out over there, and you know, unfortunate, but Bates had, no, not Bates, who's over there at third base, Coughlin?
Yes.
Had all day to get that ball across the diamond and couldn't complete that play.
So runner back down at second in scoring position, pushes Siciliano back into the stretch and sends his first pitch, a strike to Gavin Donahue, the first baseman.
Puts Donahill in puts Siciliano here in a jam early on.
BC High hitters being very, very
Taking a
selective
on the outside. I've been seeing it. I've been seeing it outside as well, though.
The 0-1 is in the dirt, levels the count at 1-1 strike. Kate, what I've been impressed with for Siciliano, and this again kind of leapfrogs baseball, softball, in this day and age, pitchers are afraid to throw inside.
And I actually noted that in the first inning that he was doing a really nice job, especially early on, working the inside portion of the plate, starting to work a little bit more outside right here.
The 1-1 goes for the outer half, and with it goes Donahue up and out of play, and the count goes to 1-2.
Yeah, great point, Todd and Kate. You know, high school pitcher's not afraid to work in and out, confident. And you're right, that first inning, he didn't waste any time busting that inside just to give him that look. And
sometimes a little bit too far inside.
Well, hey, you know, you got to show it to him, though. You might as well show him early.
And the fact that you can establish control of that inside part of the plate as well. Here's the 1-2 pitch inside this time, and getting inside of it and lofting it down the first baseline. Foul is Donahue. He'll see his third 1-2 pitch. Scoreless here, Colonials and Eagles, 4-5 matchup of the round of 8 MIAA Division I Baseball Playoffs 2022 here on RFM. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and you. Great to have you along with us here on RFM. Regan stands down at second, Donahue at the plate, and Siciliano's 1-2 pitch once again, called strike 3.
Looked like the same pitch Regan was asking about, but it was a strike then and a strike now.
One away here, still with the runner in scoring position in Regan, and Damian Brown, the shortstop, comes to the plate. Both lineups heavily right-handed at the plate. Just a sprinkling, couple of lefties in the lineup. Dancing down at second is Regan. Siciliano turns, comes to the plate, skips it in, and O'Sullivan knocks it down with a nice play.
Siciliano, though, showing a lot of confidence in that breaking ball. O'Sullivan doing a good job corralling it. Good to see, even though the runner on second. Not afraid to use all his pitches.
The 1-0 pitch missed to the outside.
Looked like a slider drifted outside there.
Count goes to 2-0.
It's a good hitter's count right here with the runner on second. Good time to attack.
Regan is not afraid to take that lead and trying to kind of stay in his back pocket, his hand the shortstop. As the 2-0 pitch comes in, got a little piece of it, did Brown, but it's in the glove of O'Sullivan for a foul tip, strike one.
I would characterize that lead as more than healthy.
Yeah, indeed.
I'm kind of surprised the second baseman's not playing a little more gamemanship with him, but staying home and playing defense here.
Shortstop just trying to bang the glove, remind him he's right here in his back pocket, let him know where he is. 2-1, fastball, missed the outer half. 3-1 goes the count to Brown.
Siciliano being a little too careful right here.
Outside part of that strike zone right now is certainly eluding me.
Staring.
I'm just guessing right now.
I got to imagine right now everybody feels that way a little bit. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Fastball, ball 4.
Good job by Brown right there. Laying off that. A couple of close pitches look like on the outside half.
And Jack O'Sullivan will ask for the timeout, and he will go on out to talk to Siciliano.
Similar situation than presented themselves in the first inning here. First and second, one out.
Right now, BC High on offense, the only team that has threatened thus far offensively. And like you said, Bill Thomas, runners on first and second yet again.
Number 9 hitter here.
Yeah, Shea O'Reilly, the catcher, will be the last to round out the order before we go back to the top half. Siciliano goes quick move to first, and that's a balk. He never gave up the ball.
Yeah, First baseman was well off the bag there. No reason to be throwing to first in that situation. Siciliano just lost his concentration there for a minute. It's going to cost him a base for each runner.
Runners will advance 90 feet, so move Regan to third, Brown to second, and a ball 1 here at the plate.
Yeah, it looked like Siciliano just forgot there was a runner on second there, and from that error to the leadoff hitter, and just broke concentration.
Nice job, though, by O'Sullivan to go out there immediately and talk to Siciliano to try to either explain what just happened, or number 2, to calm him down, because that is going to be a break in Siciliano's concentration right off the bat.
And he'll send his first offering to O'Reilly now, and that is through the catcher O'Sullivan to the backstop, and trotting on in to score is Regan. Regan reached on an E5 3 batters ago, and now he comes home to score on a passed ball for O'Sullivan.
One mistake leads to another right there, and BC High Eagles end up with a manufactured run.
Well, and doing so out of a litany of frustration on defense here for Shrewsbury. Basically, they're going to have to settle things down all around the horn right now.
Ball down. Haven't seen an update on the count, Kate. They've got 2-0 now up on the board. Kate's got it for 2-0.
Well, depending on, was there a ball in the balk? That was my only question.
I was going to say
one didn't go up.
The one didn't go up. Reached into my softball rule book for that one. That's a ball down, so 3-0. So they'll just give the base away.
So let me ask you, is a balk a ball?
They didn't put one up.
They didn't put one up. So
and the official didn't have one either.
Correct.
So I think it's just the awarded base.
Softball, we award a ball and a base.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
3-0 pitch. Fastball, strike 1.
That'll get me over a strike right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good job, though. O'Reilly being patient here. They got the run in.
If you're Siciliano and you're standing out there, and of course you got to imagine things are going through his mind a mile a minute right now. You haven't pitched terribly. You're losing 1-0. Now the 3-1 pitch slashed into right field. Another run comes in. It's an RBI single for O'Reilly.
Good job of hitting right there. Patient. Worked the count in his favor. Got a pitch he liked. Just served it right up in the right field.
Still only one out. We have a courtesy runner.
Yeah, it looks like a courtesy runner for the catcher there.
So 22 going to courtesy run for 10.
And then we've got a timeout taken by the Colonials. And I think, Kate, this is a timeout that felt like, you hear that Dick Vitale on the college basketball broadcast, get a TO, baby. It felt like a need for a timeout here to settle down the troops.
And I believe is Dean out there with them? I think that's Dean Diamatopoulos. So primarily pitching coach. Is it Dean? I can't tell. His back's to us. I'm trying to find him. It's not Lee. So
that's correct. Lee Diamatopoulos remained over on the bench. That's correct.
Tell by the length
we
of
do
hair.
We do have action
coming
coming
up.
Little
going on.
Action coming up in the pen for Shrewsbury.
Early action. Not what they had hoped for or planned, I'm quite sure. But
Still one out here on defense for Shrewsbury. And it is Dean Diamantopoulos that was out talking to the entire infield and to the battery. Gives Siciliano a pat on his way out. You got to essentially work on his confidence at this point, because right now this BC High offense has been able to not necessarily tee off on the Shrewsbury defense, but they have been able to certainly get under their skin.
Andrew Manning's got the oven mitt on down at first. He's the courtesy runner for the catcher. And we're back to the top of the order here, and Mike Mann. Mann grounded out to short to lead off the ball game. Off is Manning with the pitch, and he will steal second easily.
That, I think, is going to become a problem because you use the right word there, easily. Speed on the bases for the courtesy runner. There's a reason that he's out there, and right now it's that was clear that he had all day. So if I saw that, I'm looking to take third. I'm chomping at the bit.
Yeah, Siciliano not all that quick to the plate either, Todd and Kate, and gave him that extra step.
That was a called strike, however.
Indeed it was. Counts 0-1. Curveball inside, chopped. Ham will slide to his left, make the play across the diamond. 6-3 goes the putout. The fielder's choice will advance O'Reilly over to third.
Good job right there, getting that shore out over at first base.
And a big second out there for the Colonials.
For sure.
And that brings Nico Brini to the plate, the center fielder. He doubled and was stranded in the first.
One of the few left-handed batters that we have here on the other side.
2 outs here in the top of the second inning and a 2-0 Eagle lead.
Big spot here for Siciliano.
The bunt. It's chopped back toward the catcher, O'Sullivan, who will glove it up foul.
And this is 2 innings in a row, guys. 2 innings in a row that BC High has had runners on with 2 outs and have attempted with a left-handed batter to bunt on the first pitch. And the third baseman for Shrewsbury has been back in both instances. So very interesting choice yet again. If they're able to execute that, that's a run, period, end of discussion.
Well, right here, yeah. First time they had runners on first and second, Kate, in the first inning. But, yeah, and trying to take advantage of every situation they can early on.
Siciliano's 0-1. Debrini missed outside.
But, I mean, if they continue to get that opportunity, they will get that bunt down, and it will be effective, and that will be another run, especially considering how far back the left side is with the runner on either second last time and third right now.
I think you need to go have a talk with them about getting the bunt
We're
down,
good.
Kate.
Well, there is that.
Pitch is a strike.
There is that.
And the count goes to 1-2.
There is that.
For those joining us for the first time here on
Mean bunt
RFM,
lady.
Kate has the reputation for being the mean bunt lady.
Get the bunt down.
As she has been known to give hitters
hard
all
time.
sorts of grief in her years of coaching and playing. Bunting so important. The 1-2 missed to the inside. But, Kate, I was actually going to point out that although you may be the get the bunt down person, the point you've been making here over the couple of innings we've been on the air is that you can actually effectively put things in people's head and move pieces around.
Correct.
Even if you can't get the bunt to stay in play.
Well, yeah, but get the bunt down, people.
Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Called strike 3 to
got him
end the
jumping
threat.
back. Going to ask where that one was.
2 strikeouts in the inning by way of looking, but the rest is all sorts of ugly. If you're wearing the Navy and Vegas gold, it's an error to open the inning, followed up by a walk, then a single scoring one, then a ground ball scoring another, and it is trouble, trouble, and more trouble. There was a pass ball in there as well. 2-0, the lead for the Eagles through 1.5 here at Shrewsbury High School. BC High 2, Shrewsbury 0. A break and we're back with more. This is RFM. Postseason baseball here on RFM. It's MIAA tournament action on a Saturday. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and you. Great to have you along with us. This contest today brought to you by the Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association. The association is responsible for governing, coordinating, and promoting educational athletics and aims to provide student athletes with the best high school experience possible. The MIAA stresses the values of interscholastic athletics, from discipline and commitment to sportsmanship and teamwork. Visit the MIAA website today at MIAA.net and explore all that they have to offer. Again, that's MIAA.net. To the bottom of the second we go. 6-7-8 for the Colonials. Due up, Jack Bates at the plate. Takes the first pitch from Donahue. He sees, fouls it out of play, and the count is 0-1.
To have a quick update from the Leominster game, 1-0 Leominster after the top of the first inning.
And Bates will foul that one back to the screen, and the count goes to 0-2. That's the Division II game in the round of 8. Leominster on the road at Milton. And Kate, you said it is 1-0 Leominster.
1-0 Leominster.
Keep an eye on
Bottom
that
one.
action. The 0-2 pitch from Donahue. Ring it up.
Good looking pitch right there with 0-2. Painting the outside corner at the knees.
3 straight pitches, 3 straight strikes, and Bates is retired here in the bottom of the second inning.
Donahue not messing around.
But I was going to say, Donahue's on the mound with a renewed sense of purpose now, taking that 2-0 lead out there to the mound here in the bottom of the second.
Bates was batting .345 coming into that at-bat. Now it brings Dushyant Singh to the plate. Singh sees a first pitch strike, and the count is 0-1. Singh batting .296, his on-base percentage .333. He's slugging .407. The 0-1 misses and levels the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Great to have you along with us today here on RFM. Same day delay. Facebook.com/Media Rivalry, and on YouTube, youtube.com. Search Rivalry Family Media, or directly to the channel, tinyurl.com/Media Rivalry. The 1-1 is a called strike, and the count goes to 1-2.
That pitch had some beautiful movement to it.
Donahue looks out over the glove. The 1-2 pitch, cut on and missed in the dirt. It's O'Reilly up with it, down to first base, and Donahue for the outs to complete the strikeout.
Nice job right there, giving him that teaser in the dirt. Got him fishing.
One looking, one swinging, and it's back-to-back strikeouts to open the bottom of the second inning for Ronan Donahue. And that brings Jack O'Sullivan, the catcher, to the plate.
What I love about this venue in June.
The light breezes.
Yep. There's always going to be breezy. You know it's always going to be breezy. But in June, it's so pleasant. In March, when you're out here for tryouts, not so pleasant.
We were here in April, and it snowed, I believe, a year ago.
did.
So you never know what to expect up here in the Highlands of Shrewsbury.
Donahue's 0-1 missed outside, and it's a 1-1 count to O'Sullivan.
Oh, no, you know what to expect. It's just how cold are you going to be? This June breeze, whew, I'll take it any day.
I wish the sun would come back out.
The 1-1 breaking ball.
Oh,
missed.
That looked,
count goes to 2-1.
Looked like
good
a good
from
pitch
our
from
location.
the sideline. Always looks better from spectators'
O'Sullivan's
perspective.
batting .308, on-base percentage of .413. He's slugging .410. And O'Sullivan asks for time, and we'll break that one up as Donahue tried to move
Donahue
quickly.
is already ready to go
okay,
again.
that's fine. Step out. He's queued up and ready to go again.
He doesn't even break his pre-wind-up position. He just stood there staring in.
I'll bring it in. Here comes the 2-1. Swung on and lofted to right field, and seemingly standing in a ditch is Capozzi, who makes the catch for out number 3.
Make note of where he was standing. I'm going to bring that up in a future conversation.
3 up and 3 down in the inning. It's no runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on for the Colonials, and 2 complete here high above the town of Shrewsbury today. It is BC 2 and Shrewsbury nothing. More to come. This is RFM. As we go to the top of the third, 3-4-5, Donahue, Bohane, Capozzi due up in the inning for the Eagles as they enjoy their 2-0 lead on top of Shrewsbury in this 4-5 matchup. And, of course, an exciting day of baseball here in Massachusetts at large. And then some excitement for Massachusetts baseball, particularly Central Massachusetts, later on tonight. 10:30 Eastern Time first pitch. Super Regionals of the college postseason. Leominster baseball alum Pat Gallagher gets the start on Game 1. The Super Regionals, UConn on the road at Stanford today. That action over on our old friends at ESPNU, Bill Thomas. They've got that action later on tonight.
ESPN. What about Ocho?
I was going to say.
Friends from Fitchburg.
That's right. ESPNU's got that action as Donahue pops up the first pitch in foul territory and it is caught for out number 1 by Bates. But it's a great story anytime you see a Massachusetts player get to that place. And, of course, in Central Mass, great opportunity to talk about that, as that is often our beat.
And it can't be any prouder of Noah Gray going to Duke and then, catching on with Kansas City Chiefs as a tight end. So, yeah, we like our local alums.
Anytime you get the opportunity to talk about it. Also, some coaches in attendance today here around the ballpark as well.
Taking some notes.
1-0 missed in the dirt, knocked away. Count goes to 2-0 to Bohane. Flew out to left field in his last at-bat.
It's the time of the year when you'll see those regional scouts come out and start building their books for the draft and college signings. Well, isn't that what colleges have now, basically, is a draft?
More or less. Here's the 2-0, cut on and missed for strike 1.
Billy Thomas.
I'll go with this. The only thing I will say to Bill Thomas's point, Duke University, who you name-checked just a little bit ago, Duke basketball, of course, John Shire takes over as head coach for Mike Krzyzewski coming up in the fall. They have hired a general manager to manage their NIL commitments. The 2-1 chopped down in the feet, and count goes to 2-2.
So what is NIL?
Name, image, likeness.
Also known as the ability to promote yourselves and make money off of your name, image, and likeness at the college level.
Well,
it is something we will not see at the high school level.
Players are allowed to make some money for endorsements and stuff now.
But interesting, you're hiring a general manager. The terminology was just an interesting choice.
That's got your name written all over it, Todd. But it's borderline professional management.
2-2 pitch, hit on the ground. Down forward is Coughlin. Stays down. It comes across the diamond. And a fantastic stretch by Bates over at first base.
Thank God, using all about, 6'3". You needed every inch of it right there to corral that.
5-3 becomes the putout.
I'm envious of that flexibility.
Doesn't look near as exciting in the book as it did in real life.
Kept the toe on the bag, too. Umpire did a good job to get a second look at it.
2 outs here and another lefty. It's Chris Capozzi, the right fielder, comes to the plate. He lined out to end the first to the shortstop, Ham. Ball skips right in front of O'Sullivan to the backstop. Count goes to 1-0. And Kate, I'm noticing as O'Sullivan goes to a ball below the knees, instead of turning that glove over, tries to go down with it and kind of snap it like a dart, and that's what's leading to the skip.
When you have this constant need to frame, and with baseball, when you have that over-the-top motion, when it's coming down in the zone, sometimes you just don't. Well, there's a ball there.
Yeah, the 1-0 popped up in foul territory, and avoiding the baseball and the weight along the batter's dugout area here. It's a catch made by O'Sullivan for out number 3. I was going to say, felt like he was dodging the landmines, little American Gladiators on his way on over to the dugout. But nonetheless, the important part, it was a catch to end the inning. 3 up and 3 down in the Eagle third. Means it's still 2-0. BC High on top of Shrewsbury here in the Division I baseball round of 8. We break, and we're back with more as it's 9 top for the Colonials as we go to the bottom of the third inning. This is RFM. To the bottom of the third we go here on RFM. Kinski, Paris, Ham as we go 9 top, and Kinski will round out this 9 here in the bottom of the third inning. Sorry about that.
Donahue coming off a very efficient second inning. I had him for under 10 pitches, a couple of strikeouts, a 1-2-3 inning. See if Shrewsbury can't break through here in the third.
Let's add it desperately needed efficiency.
Todd, you said 9 top, so still the first go-round here for these Shrewsbury batters against Donahue.
Kinski fouls this one to the backstop, coming to the plate, batting .220, a .448 on base percentage, and he's slugging .341. And he's in the hole 0-1. Donahue brings that 0-1 pitch. Missed to the outside. O'Reilly tried to frame it, but he had to pull that from the channel on the left side. 1-1 the count. And here comes Donahue's 1-1. Call the strike with that backhand frame again, and the count goes to 1-2.
That 17-inch wide strike zone is an elusive thing to me. Tis elusive.
Timeout asked for by Kinski, the left-handed batter.
And I think you're going to see that coming from the Shrewsbury batters more and more as Donahue gets into a groove. He is just raring to go as soon as he gets that ball back.
1-2 pitch, and that one inside and low.
I think that's a good point, Kate. You know, you got to break his rhythm. You can't just let him stand there and fire away. Got to try to get him off the mound, get him to take an extra breath, maybe you know, drop his guard a little bit between pitches.
2-2 pitch. Pulled that one toward the right center field area, and playing center field or right center field was Capozzi, who drifted over to his right seemingly a couple of steps, had that one read well pre-pitch, took one step to his right and makes the catch.
You know, and to make a point of where Capozzi's playing, you know, we saw Shrewsbury right fielder playing kind of deep and out where that crest kind of re-emerges, but you look at where Capozzi's playing. You can't see his feet. He's basically playing like a short field out there, and he was perfectly positioned for that line drive to right center.
Back to the top of the order. First pitch swinging for Paris. Sends man to his backhand in the hole and in time at first base.
Close play, but good job over there digging it out. Donahue picking it and showing it.
2 away here in the bottom of the third. Paris was trucking down the line and got beat by half a step on a great play by the second baseman, going to that hole straight away, and then coming back across his body with the strike thrown, and Donahue gloves it up at first.
And now everything coming up roses if you're BC High.
And that brings A.J. Ham to the plate. Flew out to right field in his last at-bat and sees a first pitch strike. Count goes to 0-1.
He is, oh my God, Donahue is ready to go immediately.
Kate, Donahue's motion, incredibly compact.
Very.
0-1. Fastball missed the outside. Count goes to 1-1. Starts about chest high with the glove. Drops it down to about belt high. Breaks as he starts to turn toward the plate. And he keeps that shoulder tucked real tight to his body on his throwing arm. It's not a long motion, almost akin to a catcher throwing from the ear. Going with this one is Ham toward right center. This time it's Brini who drifts to his left and floats over and makes the catch for out number 3. And once again, 3 up and 3 down in the inning for the Colonials. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on through 3 here at Shrewsbury. It's BC High 2 and Shrewsbury nothing. A break and we're back with more. This is RFM. 6, 7, 8 due up in the order for the Eagles. It's Regan, Donahue, and Brown due up in the inning for the Maroon and Gold. 2-0 they lead here through 3, high atop the town of Shrewsbury on the campus of Shrewsbury High School. Get a good look at Shrewsbury High off in the distance there. Beautiful building.
Great complex. They put a lot of thought into the layout between the high school front and everything and this athletic complex in the back. Great job right here by the planners.
Siciliano starts Regan off with a first pitch. Strike one.
The
Regan reached on an error, Kate, and then scored, became the first score of the ballgame back in the second.
The only thing that I will say is that when this particular facility was planned, and Bill Thomas, I know you've been asking for the sun, but in the late afternoon, this field and then the softball field directly behind it, a little bit tricky with late afternoon sun. So I'm thrilled about the cloud cover today because it's not bringing that into play.
The 1-1 pitch. Missed inside. O'Sullivan tried to frame it back in on the inside corner. Wasn't able to do it.
I know in the event that they're, in conversation about if there are going to be any renovations here, that there may have to be kind of a swivel, if you will, of the fenestration.
2-1, the uppercut swing lofted up and out of play, and the count levels 2-2.
I'm guessing it must be tough on the right side of the infield here when the sun's going down over the Worcester Hills.
It just gets tricky.
I bet.
It just gets tricky.
From the Shrewsbury Hill to the Worcester Hills.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Regan, and Siciliano on for his 4th inning of work. From the windup, 2-2 pitch. Down and scooped by O'Sullivan. We'll see a 3-2 offering. Kate, you and I were talking about it during the break, and I mean, at this point, BCI has played well enough to get themselves out to a 2-0 lead, but there's been no dominance of the ballgame.
Yes.
They've just taken advantage of every single Colonial mistake. The payoff pitch popped up toward shallow right field,
nice
angling over is Kinski, and takes control and makes the catch.
Nice
Good job right
communication
there.
there.
Absolutely. First baseman Bates getting out of his way like he should.
Batting number 21,
Kinski taking charge.
And Todd, one of the things I think that you said that is certainly apropos is that little jitter, like a little mistake here and there, and this BC High team has pounced on every opportunity that they've been given. And as you said, we're not seeing a dominating performance. I mean, don't mistake. Donahue has been incredibly impressive on the mound, but it's not as if he is blowing the ball by people and people are not able to make contact. On both sides of the ball, you're seeing both teams making contact. It's just that BC High right now they are not only producing the contact, but they're also taking advantage of every single miscue that Shrewsbury has allotted, and you're not seeing the same miscues on BC High's side of the ball.
Gavin Donahue at the plate for the 2nd time today. Finds himself in a level count at 1-1. Struck out looking back in the 2nd. It's the 1-1 pitch from Siciliano.
Siciliano's starting to work a little bit more quickly, a little bit more expeditiously out there on the mound as well. He's getting ready.
Getting a little rhythm maybe in these last couple of batters.
Rhythm is a dancer.
He has set down 6 in a row up to this point since those 2 runs were scored in the top of the 2nd.
Shakes off O'Sullivan. Now he's got what he wants. Slow through the windup, 1-2 pitch. Popped up out of play by Donahue.
I said that, and he just takes his time.
He wants what he wants, as the case may be. He stares on in, glaring down that flat brim cap. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Cut on and missed.
Nice sweeping breaking ball right there. Good job.
And it's out number 2, 2nd strikeout of the day for Donahue, and that brings Damian Brown to the plate. Reached on a walk, became a run, scored on an RBI single by O'Reilly.
Question
for three strikeouts, Todd. Couple of looking in the 2nd.
And question for
End
you.
of the 2nd. 3 strikeouts now for Siciliano.
Yes, Donahue has struck out twice today.
Yep. Let's give him credit where credit's due.
Siciliano, as this one fouled back to the screen by Brown, and the count's 0-1.
Todd, has Shrewsbury defensively started an inning with 2 outs without anybody on base?
Last inning, the 3rd.
1, 2, 3 in the 3rd.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh, it's already the 4th. That's right.
Indeed
Yeah,
it
we're in
is.
the 4th, yeah.
This thing is cooking.
Cooking.
The 0-1 pitch, lofted on a dead sprint from center field is Martin. He was playing deep, and he came on an angle to his right across left center field, and he will make the catch, and it's 3 up and 3 down in the 4th for the Eagles. Through 3.5, it's BC High 2, Shrewsbury nothing. A break and we're back with more. This is RFM. A well-rounded education is one that is not only academically oriented, but one that also includes physical, social, and emotional development. Interscholastic Athletics provides the other half of education. The MIAA encourages you to support your local high school athletic teams throughout the school year. This message brought to you by the Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association, building the future through Interscholastic Athletics. To the bottom of the fourth we go here in the round of 8 Division I. Southwest side of the bracket here in Division I. 2-0 BC High on top of Shrewsbury. And Donahue starts off Alex Martin with a first pitch, ball 1.
Donahue with a nice smile there. Thought that he had clipped the inside portion of the strike zone. The official telling him
1-0 pitch, hit on a line, and man standing right where he belongs. The second baseman makes the catch for out number 1.
Didn't even need to change the cameras.
We like when it works out that way.
Makes your job a lot easier, Kate.
Just left it right there.
What a great catch.
I'm getting better at that. Steals at second base or something proximal, especially on the right-hand side, I just leave it.
Get a better look at that side of the infield.
Martin is now 1 of 2 on the day. The designated hitter, Ben Griffin, comes to the plate. Singled and stranded in the first. Gets his a second crack on Donahue and fouls the first pitch he sees out of play. Count goes to 0-1.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Todd and Billy. So obviously, the second time through the Shrewsbury order, but obviously not seeing as many opportunities as the BC High hitters because they've been able to generate runs. So it's maybe seeing a little bit more production out of the Shrewsbury hitters right now.
You know, we talked about Siciliano getting into a groove, setting down 8 in a row. That's right where Donahue is now, set down the last 8.
1-1 drifts over the head of Griffin for ball 2.
Just missed.
Count goes to 2-1. We were also talking about it, Bill Thomas, during the break. As you look at kind of the performance right now, you spotted BC High 2, but you're in a situation here, if you're Shrewsbury, you can certainly get back into this game as Griffin fouls the 2-1 back to the backstop. If you're Coach Lee Diamantopoulos, you got to say to yourself, you're in a 4-5 matchup in the round of 8 in Division I. You've got to be able to score 2 runs to get into a ball game.
Oh, absolutely. If you can't score, you don't deserve to win no matter who you're playing against. But Donahue's pitching a good game, and but they got to find a way to get a base runner and make something happen here, move him around.
Well, that's the difficulty. You can't move around base runners without them on base.
Exactly right.
2-2 is in the dirt. O'Reilly struggled to handle it. Count will run to 3-2.
Find a way to get that base runner, even if you got to manufacture that first run, get some movement going. But you're right. You got to get on base before you can play around.
A 3-2 count to the batter, Griffin. Stares out at Donahue. Donahue stares back in, turned in front left foot. Here's the payoff pitch. Slashes that one. Over to make the backhand play is Donahue, who flips to Donahue in time. Nice job by Gavin Donahue, the first baseman, to leave his position, field into that 3-4 hole, make the backhand, come back across his body, and the pitcher Ronan Donahue races over, and it's brother to brother for out number 2.
Not only that,
Twin to twin.
Ronan Donahue there, the amount of athleticism that it takes and how quick he was being able to get over to first base. He's just simply an all-around athlete.
2 outs here, and Coughlin comes to the plate. Coughlin had grounded out earlier, now hits this one on the ground. Man up with it on the one hop, on to first. 4-3 the put out, and a neat little order once again for the Eagles defensively. 3 up and 3 down in the inning for the Colonials. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on through 4. It's 2-0 BC High on top of Shrewsbury. To the top of the 5th we go. It's 9 top. O'Reilly, Mann, and Breeny due up for the Eagles. More to come. This is RFM. Top of the 5th we go here on RFM. O'Reilly, Mann, and Breeny due up in the order for the Eagles, who already enjoy a 2-0 lead. O'Reilly singled and stranded at third, back in the 2nd. Takes a mighty cut at Siciliano's first pitch here in the 5th, and it's strike 1.
You know, Todd and Kate, we commented about the early action. First inning and a half. This turned into a pitcher's duel last 3 innings.
0-1 pitch, chopped on the ground.
Gorgeous.
Coughlin reaches for it and gets it across the diamond in time.
Absolutely gorgeous range from the Shrewsbury shortstop. That left side doing a nice job getting that and knowing that you needed to get rid of it as quickly as possible. He ended up almost all the way over at second base. Unbelievable range. Very well done.
And able to
A
maintain
nice stretch
his
by
balance.
nice stretch by the first baseman as well.
He showed some stretch there, and by the way, he's working the shades game over there as well.
Oh,
Got
the whole left side is.
Got the mirrored blue out there as this one gets fouled to the backstop as we go back to the top of the order. And it's Mike Mann, who has grounded out twice in innings 1 and 2 to the shortstop.
You know, shades might have something to do with that kind of gray ashen colored sky. Might help the ball to brighten up a little bit.
I think it's when the sun goes down in the afternoon, the left side gets blasted.
0-1. Strike 2. Count goes to 0-2 to Mann.
Man is twice grounded out to the shortstop. Across the diamond, 6-3.
The 0-2. Wasted outside. Count goes to 1-2 to Mann.
Well, Sullivan trying to hold it out there, but a little too far out off the outer edge.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out here. Siciliano, breaking ball, slashed on the ground to who else? The shortstop.
Beautiful.
This is Ham, up with it, cross the diamond, and a great play made by Bates over at first. Oh, my.
Somehow kept his foot on that. I don't know if he came back down his heel, but umpire had a good look at it.
Kate, explain
I
to
have
me
no other superlative.
how Bates can go full starfish. One arm goes up, one leg goes the other way, and the other leg stays on the bag. Unbelievable
It's
play.
absolutely well,
My
and the thing about the last 2 plays that have gone back to back is it's not just the incredible range of the shortstop for Shrewsbury. On the other side of the play, that first baseman for Shrewsbury literally, like you said, full starfish, and the relationship between the infielders has to be sound because you need to know that you can make that stretch.
First pitch swinging for Breeny, on the ground for Kinski, up with it and over to Bates. So everybody around the diamond in the infield gets a chance to play a ground ball. First, it's a 5-3 put out, Coughlin to Bates. Then it's Ham to Bates for out number 2. Then it's Kinski to Bates for out number 3. That's the pitch to contact we were expecting. That's what we got as we go around the horn there in the top of the 5th. 3 up and 3 down in the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. Through 4.5, BC High 2 and Shrewsbury nothing. Colonials back to the plate with 6, 7, 8 when we continue. This is RFM. To the bottom of the 5th we go, and of course we're reaching the point where if you're an audience member and you're seeing this Colonial team for the first time this year, you're wondering to yourself, is this the way it's been offensively? Well, you don't get to 20-3 without the ability to produce offense. So I looked on down the game results here. Let's look for wins with greater than 10 runs in the ball game. 16-6, 12-0, 13-2, 10-0, 11-1, 11-4. And we continue down to 12-4. The closest margin of victory the Colonials have had in recent games goes to Newton North at a 6-5 win. That was back on June 5th in the opening round of this tournament. They can score in a whole bunch of bunches. They're just not doing it right now, and that speaks to the performance of Ronan Donahue.
Yeah, Donahue's having a great game out there. He's keeping Shrewsbury Colonials off balance, but it's kind of pointing over your shoulder. Let's how they did against the common opponents. I don't think they were scoring 10 runs against the Wachusetts and the St. John's, but nonetheless, you don't get your record by getting shut out, that's for sure.
Bates opens the bottom of the 5th inning with a single, and it's a base runner that the Colonials sorely needed. Bates had struck out looking back in the 2nd. Now he's got himself a single to get on here in the bottom of the 5th.
And look to Lee Diamantopoulos and the Colonials to start trying to manufacture something here because base runners have been at a premium for the Colonials, and BC High's coaching staff already getting ready for defensively to see some small ball out of the Colonials.
Donahue has set down 10 in a row up to that point, so base runners for Shrewsbury has been few and far between, nothing since the 1st inning.
Donahue's first pitch to Singh is a ball low. Singh struck out swinging back in the 2nd in his lone at bat. He's ahead 1-0 with Bates down at first. Siciliano peeks over his shoulder, now back set at the waist. 1-0, misses high. Count to 2-0.
Coach Diamantopoulos telling Singh at 2-0, strike zone is teeny tiny.
I believe that was the universal signal for tin can at this point in time.
Better be pretty.
I
You better fall in love with it.
Keep your bat on your shoulder here.
Yeah, zone up. Here's the 2-0. Misses high, 3-0, but a quick snap down to first as Bates might have got caught leaning. Nice throw by O'Reilly and a tag made by Donahue, but to no avail. Count 3-0 with Bates down at first.
Right now, you need, if you are Singh, you are precious. You need to get on base. 3-0 count. Be smart. You already got the take sign.
3-0 pitch. Ball 4.
I was about to comment, Todd and Kay. It's only the 2nd time that Donahue's gone 3 balls on anybody, and first time since the leadoff batter. But good job right there, working the walk, and Shrewsbury's getting exactly what they need, base runners.
And it's a 4-pitch walk induced by Singh as well.
Jack O'Sullivan going over to talk to Coach Lee Diamantopoulos right now. The conversation has to be as follows. We just saw a 4-pitch walk. We are down by 2. It is the 5th inning. We have 2 base runners on. This is the first time that we've had that happen. So number 1, you are precious, and number 2, if you were going to swing at a pitch, you better do something with it.
The last time the Colonials got to this point, in a timeout taken by the Eagles, they want to talk things over out on the mound with the entire infield in. The last time the Colonials had 2 base runners on, you got to go back to the first inning with 2 outs. Martin and Griffin had back-to-back singles in the 3-4 slots in the first, and then it was just short-lived. A ground ball by Coughlin ended the threat in the bottom of the first inning. That's the most excitement. From there, the Colonials have been retired in order in the second, third, and fourth inning, and now back-to-back base runners. A single. Bates now advanced down to second on the walk by Singh, and here's Jack O'Sullivan at the plate.
And one of the things that you can feel about a moment like this, it may not necessarily mean make or break because you still have a couple of innings to play with if you're Shrewsbury, but this is certainly an opportunity that you do not want to let slip away because BC High has not let any of the opportunities that they've been given slip away. And so it's a precious time right now if you're wearing Navy and Vegas Gold.
And Kate, you can't make the assumption you're going to get to this place again, so
You've
you've
got
got to
right.
make this work now. Showing bunt, O'Sullivan pulls back. The ball in the dirt thrown down to second base, and there was a little bit of twister, right hand red, left foot blue, and they call was safe down at second base.
Brown holding the ball on the player down there on Bates to see if he could get a little release off the bag, but umpire right on it. Good job.
Pitch was recorded as a ball at the plate. Plate umpire thought about whether that bunt got pulled back. The 1-0 shows bunt, and this time O'Sullivan comes way back with it and takes for ball 2.
Bates gets a little dirtier out there at second base, not taking any chances.
Once again here, we've had 6 balls back to back to back to back to back to back to back.
Good point, Kate.
And we still have to move these base runners, so very important situation here. Do you attempt to bunt after 6 balls in a row?
Shows bunt, pull back again.
That's
This
7.
one in the dirt, and count 3-0.
You know, I wonder if a little base runner action plus a little extra movement at the plate hasn't broken Donahue's rhythm here, and he's got something to worry about, and he hasn't had this situation in front of him since the first inning.
The take sign has already been
Absolutely.
put out there.
A walk is as good as a bunt right here.
3-0, O'Sullivan recorded for a strike.
I don't think he got the bunt out of the way. I
8
think that's
pitches,
why.
7 balls, and a strike.
I wouldn't have even put that bat out there. I don't think anybody thought he was going to bunt on 3-0, but see what happens here. It's a big pitch right here.
3-1 the count to O'Sullivan. Runners on first and second. He will bunt on the 3-1 count. It goes down the line, and Donahue is able to lay that one into foul territory.
Get the bunt down.
That
Great
was
tussle.
right
Oh,
on the
my.
line there.
Get the
No
bunt
home
down.
team roll back into fair territory, though, and Donahue made sure of that. What'd you say, Kate? A little louder?
Get the bunt down.
Great job by the plate umpire, by the way, to hop out of his crouch as well
Right
and
on
get
it.
down the line to see it and get into a credible calling position.
Good job by Donahue getting this count back full.
3-2 count, 2 runners on, nobody out here in the 5th. The payoff underneath it, lofted to the backstop. It is a foul ball bunt for strike 3.
Said something to him, too. Pitcher got into it a little bit right there. With
Katie tried to
O'Sullivan.
push that one for a hit on top of it.
Yeah, you need to just execute. Get the bunt down. Your job is to move the base runners. Your job is to execute what you're being asked to execute, move the base runners, not get too fancy, and with 2 strikes, just get it down between the lines. You're taking a gamble as it is.
You're right. He's trying to feed that directionally, but you're right, Todd. Just get the bunt down and make some movement in the infield and make him make a play, but can't be too precise in that at that moment there. You're not bunting for a base hit. You got to get
Your
some
job
action
is
in
to
the
move
infield.
them.
Instead, you become the 4th strikeout victim of the day. 1-0, ball missed inside, 2-0. 2-0 the count to Ryan Kinski. Kinski lined out back in the 3rd, which was the first time he got a chance to see Donahue today.
BC High Battery having a conversation yet again. It's one of the rare times that we've seen Donahue a little bit out of sorts here. He's talking to himself, and whenever you're talking to yourself out on the mound, hopefully you're winning that conversation.
Bill Thomas, I've also learned that whenever your wife is talking to herself, she's trying to work things out, which may
She's
not be
trying
good
to
for
win
you.
the conversation
That's
too.
right.
She doesn't need input from you, Todd.
2-0.
Trying to
is
work
a
some
strike
stuff
one.
out here. Billy, when he hears me from like upstairs, he'll be like, "Is everything okay?"
Of course.
He knows it's never good. Never good.
2-1 the count to Kinski.
Just trying to make your lunch, okay?
Donahue working out of a stretch. Runners on first and second. 2-1 pitch. Down in the dirt. Picked up by O'Reilly. Count to 3-1.
The interesting thing here that I'm seeing with Donahue is it's not just that he's missing. He's missing with several different types of pitches, several different areas of the strike zone. So right now, you're sensing a little bit of that frustration. He's trying to work his way out of it. He's trying to go to pitches that he can rely on, but right now missing here and there and by a
3-1
lot.
is high. That's ball 4. Second walk of the inning. Second walk of the ball game issued by Donahue.
So no more dance space left on the dance card if you are BC High. Bases are juiced for Shrewsbury. Coaching staff for BC High making some defensive adjustments with their outfielders, kind of shifting the chess pieces around here. Still only 1 out, and again, no more space left on those bases. So things are becoming surgical in nature here for BC High if you're an Eagle.
Bases loaded with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Paris, first pitch swinging, sends it down the right field line, and it is foul.
That would have cleared the bases, but foul by a foot.
A foul ball. A very narrow window indeed.
So just a strike.
Long strike. Just a strike.
Bill Thomas, I agree with your theory. You know, there's the old cliche, right field run forever, and that was
Yeah,
certainly
that was-
a situation there.
You know, if there's
The
any
ball falls in
consolation,
fair.
the grass is really thick here, and it catches the ball. But, yeah, that was going to roll towards the bushes out there and would have scored 2. Maybe he might have cleared the
Ryan
bases.
Kinski was already rounding third from first base before the foul call was made. It would have absolutely cleared the bases.
There's the 0-1 to Paris. Breaking
went
ball
behind
is
him.
behind the back of O'Reilly. He was able to get a glove on it and keep it in the vicinity
Wow.
of home plate, which keeps all the runners where they are.
How does he get his glove on that? O'Reilly reaching behind Paris.
Coach-
Keep that ball from going to the backstop. I'm surprised he didn't hit Paris's bat, actually.
And the bullpen is working for the Eagles now. They've got someone up.
It's so far away we can't tell who's
And,
on.
and another odd quirk is that both teams share the same bullpen area.
1-1 hit on the ground, fielded, flipped to second for 1, on to first, not in time. It's a fielder's choice, scores a run. Colonials are on the board with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th.
Well, they found a way to manufacture a run, got that first one across here, so at least Shrewsbury breaks the ice.
So now we have runners on the corners. We have 2 outs now for Shrewsbury. Runners on the corners, as we said.
The putout is 6-4 to retire
Kinski
Kinski
off the base.
for 2 outs.
Had to look to see who they took off there.
Indeed. So now Singh is down at third.
Shrewsbury gave me a reason to actually make my book get a little messy.
And we've got
Way too
runners,
clean.
runners on the corners. Fake one,
Oh!
throw the other, and that one is thrown out of play.
Wow.
And that will score a run and tie the ball game.
Wow.
Donahue may have overthought himself. He faked to third, turned to snap a throw over to first. He overthrew the first baseman, Donahue, and threw the ball out of play where there is no fence. We're tied at 2 here in the bottom of the 5th in the round of 8.
But to complicate things more, Todd, he made that throw without being in contact in the runner with the rubber. Makes it a 2-base error. He gets awarded third base rather than the standard second base if he had been in contact with the runner with a bad throw. So just to complicate the error, after faking the third, comes off the rubber, overthrows first, gets 2 bases. That puts Perez over at third base there. He's awarded third base on that overthrow out of bounds.
And the Colonials get shooed back on into their dugout, but the celebration is on. It is Shrewsbury 2 and BC High 2.
And
Wow.
We talked about this when you had the base runners on, when you had those 6 balls pitched by Donahue in a row, and Shrewsbury got those 2 base runners on. You could essentially feel the moment here. It was a physical, visceral reaction in the crowd.
It had to be.
It had
felt
to
like
be
it
right
had
now.
to be this
Absolutely.
moment.
And we talked about how it appeared they were getting in Donahue's head a little bit, broke his rhythm. He's got base runners to worry about, and this is the end result.
And Ham is at the plate and sees the first pitch of this at-bat, a ball in, and the count is 1-0. Ham has flown out to right field and flew out to center field in his last at-bat. 1-0 the count. Donahue desperately trying to get to the dugout. 1-0 fastball, strike. Count 1 ball, 1 strike.
And in the situation that Shrewsbury finds themselves in with a base runner at third base, it's going to be very important here to try to plate this run as well. The pitcher that's up for BC High and presumably coming in next inning is a lefty.
The 1-1 pitch missed outside, and the count goes to 2-1.
So you have a situation where you could potentially see a completely different look. And Shrewsbury's batters, although getting hot right now and taking advantage of miscues on BC High's defensive side, could take a minute once you're going up against another pitcher to get back into a rhythm.
Here's the 2-1. Line drive, it will fall in the gap. It's misplayed in center field by Brini. The run is in to score. Around first is Ham, diving on into second. It's a single and an advance on the error in the outfield. But it's 3-2 Shrewsbury here in the bottom of the 5th. That's the top of the line headline.
Ham does the job right there. Kate, you talked about how important it was to plate this run, and Ham came through.
And we have BC High pitching change more than likely happening as the bullpen.
Yeah, Coach Steve Healy is out of the dugout.
Yep,
he's crossed the third base line, and he's got to pull the trigger here.
Wow, that fall apart really quick for Donahue, but Shrewsbury Colonial is doing a great job starting this inning off by manufacturing
through 4 innings,
runners.
we were at a 2-0 game. Through 4.5, we were at a 2-0 game. And if you had asked through 4.5 who the pitcher that was having the strongest performance
Donahue by far.
and who would be the first pitcher who would be departing the game, you would have said it's Siciliano. And Donahue was the more dominant
Absolutely.
pitcher. And now here in the bottom of the 5th, it's 3-2 Shrewsbury, and a totally different ball game, and a dejected Ronan Donahue has to walk to the dugout.
Well, and it's a difficult feeling because not only Donahue was having that phenomenal performance, the defense behind him was playing tremendously as well. We had talked about the defensive miscues on the Colonial side of the ball, and BC's defense had been absolutely lights out. And on the offensive side of the ball, BC High offensively had been taking advantage of every single opportunity that they had been given. And as you said, as Siciliano had gone into the game for Shrewsbury, he had been able to settle things down a little bit. And right now, we're seeing the same type of miscues happening on BC High's side of the ball that we had seen early on by the Colonials. And so this becomes that situation where the momentum shifts, and it shifted hard. And again, as we said, this inning, it was going to be imperative. You could feel the moment as soon as Shrewsbury got base runners that this was going to have to be the time that they made the step in that direction to be able to have some offensive production, and they got just enough under Donahue's skin and then level that up with under the skin of the defense as well, that they're able to take advantage of those miscues. And right now they have the 1-run advantage, and BC High forced to change their pitcher out.
And that brings number 18, the lefty, Evan Dow, into the ball game. Close the books on Ronan Donahue. By our calculations, low unofficial. 4 2/3 for Donahue, 4 hits, 3 runs. We've got 2 of them earned, 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. Otherwise, not a bad pitching line. Those 2 walks came in this inning.
Yep.
I had him for about 65, 66 pitches, so we can't say he was tired, but, Donahue definitely lost his rhythm right there. A number of 3-ball counts, which he hadn't experienced up to this point in the game, and he kind of was his own worst enemy right in the middle of that inning also, contributed to his own demise.
Well, and that's the situation that you find yourself in. You have his defense early on had been tremendous as well. So you have that confidence knowing that you have the ability to make incredible decisions and rely on your athleticism. He is an all-around athlete. And when you have not only a little bit of difficulty finding the zone there, a few pitches in a row, and then you have that major defensive miscue, all of a sudden, mentally, that's going to, even with the best and most mentally sound athletes, that's going to make you take a second, and it might shake some of your confidence. And so that's the situation that you find themselves in. But BC High, a talented enough team here, even down by 1, their offensive production has been fairly tremendous. And Siciliano for Shrewsbury going in, he's going to be going into his 6th inning next inning. And so it's going to be a situation, can he fend off the offensive bats of BC High here. But Shrewsbury potentially not done here. 2 outs.
The senior left-handed pitcher, Evan Dow, takes over. First pitch breaking ball, first pitch swinging for Martin. He will send it in to left field. Around third, we've got a developing situation at home, and rolling on into home for the 4th run of the ball game. It's A.J. Ham, and it's 4-2 Shrewsbury.
Good heads-up play there. Good aggressive coaching there by Coach Diamantopoulos, sending them just rounding third. Good throw. Would have really made a close play at the plate, but a little up the line on the third base side. Nice aggressive base runner right there.
I think there you also have the situation you're talking about, Coach Diamantopoulos. There was no hesitation, understanding that blue pit out into left field. You're playing a natural surface. This is your home field advantage situation. Right, there was no hesitation in him sending that base runner all the way from second home. The throw was a little bit errant. No play at the plate. You got another run.
And I thought Reagan was playing in left field.
Yeah,
he was only about a step or so
I think
off
the grass also
field
caught him, too. You know, he was a step short. Make that extra step. But no hesitation coming around third. But Coach Diamantopoulos could play with aggressiveness, being up a run at this point in the game. Now you can really push the issue, which he did.
And we've seen him throughout the years. He's on offense. You see him being more aggressive. You see him trying to manufacture runs. But right there, I think all that you just saw was home field advantage. Period. End of discussion. He knew what that ball was going to do as soon as it was obvious that a play was not going to be able to be made. With 2 outs, the other thing, that runner's off on contact anyway. So you have the advantage of it doesn't matter if it falls or not. You've got that base runner on his horse. He's already at third. Giddy up, kid, and keep going. The Belmont Stakes is later, and you might be in it.
Looking a little like Rich Strike coming down the stretch and nipping the run at home. It's 0-2 with 2 outs. Dow to Griffith, who hits this one on the ground. Slow roller, charging his man, crosses body, and not in time. The inning continues.
Tell you, Shrewsbury's hitting him in all the right spots right now and hustling every second.
And all we're seeing right now is the puzzle pieces kind of coming together. This is not a situation in which Shrewsbury's offense is overpowering BC High. You're getting hits put into positions where the chess pieces are simply able to move. This is not a situation where you're getting blasts out into center field. You're getting balls hit over the fence. This is literally just the puzzle pieces continue to move because the hits go in the right places, or they're just taking advantage of small miscues here and there.
Colby Coughlin is the 9th batter of the inning. He will come to the plate, having grounded out twice thus far, but they were both against Donahue. It's his first look at Dow, who hit him.
Dow's all over the place here.
And that ball will roll down to our diamond side broadcast position. 2 outs here, and once again, the bases are loaded.
The most pliable player on the field up to bat. Is it bad? Then I am so jealous of how flexible he is. Oh, man.
I love it.
Griffith moves on down to second. Coughlin now at first after the hit by pitch. And
having a conversation here.
Coach Steve Healy comes down, talks to the plate umpire, and he does have a conference. When you make a pitching replacement, you would have a conference to talk to.
I think he was confirming. I think he may have just been confirming because obviously he's already been out there once this inning. To speak to Donahue. This would be his second conference of the inning, but as you said, Todd, because of the pitching change, he's able to go back out there and speak to his entire infield once again. So Shrewsbury, 2 outs. Bases juiced again.
And Bates, of course, is back at the plate hitting for the second time this inning, which, what does that mean, Bill Thomas?
It means they've batted around and they've ruined
up the
our
scorecard.
book.
That's the way that's
screwed up the book. We're already scribbling.
Because it's all about the two of you.
We're already
draw a line, move over, and let's continue.
I tell you, I love the way my book looks right now. But let's go back to the conversation we had at the top of this inning. Shrewsbury didn't get to be 20-3 by not scoring runs.
That's correct.
Shot out one time all season by Algonquin in the Samata tournament. But I think that was abnormality to their season, and they're showing it right now. They know how to score runs and score them in bunches.
Jack Bates at the plate, singled in the run scored in this inning. It was against Donahue. This is his first look at Dow. First pitch, lefty to righty matchup, and Bates fouls it to the backstop.
Runners will be off on contact here once again.
It's Martin down at third, Griffith at second, and Coughlin at first. Bases full of Colonials. Every direction Dow looks. Dow's got the sign he wants, set at the chin. 0-1 in the dirt, and didn't want to, but he did Bates, and the count is 0-2.
That was a wicked breaking ball right there, Todd and Kate.
That was about as effective as a breaking ball as we've seen all day. And right there you have that aborted swing by Bates, but it was far too late as soon as he did it. Now he's down 0-2 and probably a little bit in his head.
He's got to be thinking that pitch might be coming again.
0-2, 2 outs, bases full of Colonials. Dow ready at the chin again.
Taking his time.
Fastball high, count goes to 1-2.
But is that a setup pitch?
Yeah, it's a great question. Do you come back with that wicked breaking ball once again? 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 4 Colonials have scored in the inning, and Bates is the 10th batter of the inning.
Got to trust your catcher right here if he's calling for that sweeping breaking pitch.
I thought the same thing, because if that goes in the dirt, that might be another run.
Dow ready at the chest. 1-2 pitch in the dirt, and O'Reilly knocks it down.
That's
Beautiful.
confidence right there.
Yeah.
You're right, Kate. I mean, to throw a 55-footer right there and you catch it, keeps it in front of you right there
And
in front of him. I mean, you can't do any better than that.
A nice that-a-boy by the batter to the catcher there, because obviously they were a little bit tied up, but a beautiful defensive play there by the BC High catcher.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Deuces Wild in a 4-2 Colonial lead. Called strike 3, threat over.
Bates frozen.
But what an inning constructed by the Colonials. 10 batters come to the plate, 4 runs scored, and a slew of hits. All of it to come. We'll total it all for you, but we are through 5 here on the campus of Shrewsbury High School, where through 5 innings, the Colonials have claimed the lead. It's Shrewsbury 4. BC High 2. How do the Eagles respond? We'll find out in the top of the 6th inning, where it's 3-4-5. Donahue, Bohane, and Capozzi due up at the plate. A break, and we're back with more. This is RFM. To the top of the 6th inning we go here on RFM. Shrewsbury with a huge bottom of the 5th inning. Claim the lead at 4-2 Colonials.
Donahue still hitting for himself.
Indeed he is.
Well, Todd and I were wondering how they were going to work that out.
And Donahue rips this one for a single down the line. He's on his horse. He's around first. On into second base. He slides safely with the leadoff double.
This is exactly what we were talking about in the last inning. You knew that Shrewsbury needed to not just tie the ball game, they needed to get the lead in that last inning, because the offensive production of this BC High Eagles team has essentially been ramping up as the game has gone on. You still have Siciliano in there for Shrewsbury. I think he's going to have a very, very short leash here in the 6th inning. You can see action for Shrewsbury in the bullpen. BC High has action going out to the bullpen as well. I think
Siciliano's second pitch is a single into left field. It also allows a 90-foot advance for Donahue from second to third.
And I think that may be it for Shrewsbury and for Siciliano.
Siciliano came in this inning setting down 11 straight, Todd and Kate.
Now he gave up a double and a single on back-to-back pitches.
So right now we have Coach Diamantopoulos telling his catcher to go and talk to Siciliano, because you literally have just sent pitchers out there. Neither of them are warm right now, so he's trying to take as much time as possible. He's literally just said, go out there, talk about anything, because you're gonna need more time. I would have waited for the umpire.
Dinner plans, I think.
I would have waited for the umpire umpire to
Now the
come and
coach.
And they're not, and
I
now
mean,
they're going to take a
have to.
coaching
They're doing
conference
everything
on
they
top
can
of it.
here to waste some time.
The interesting part is when you look down at the bullpen, and I think Coach Diamantopoulos is trying to light a firecracker down there, there's not a lot of expedition
a
going
sense of
on there.
urgency, let's say. Yeah.
Need to move things along a little bit, as I
Send
think
the
what the
coach
signal
down.
would be out to the
There's
bullpen.
a coach down there, but yeah.
And
Let's
at this
keep things
point,
moving.
at this point, what you're going to see is right now Dean Diamantopoulos out talking to the entire infield. They are essentially going to wait out the umpires until an umpire is in Dean's back pocket and maybe taking something out of his back pocket.
Walk all the way up
he's,
to the
he's
dirt.
going to make
Yep,
him. He's going to
absolutely,
make
Kate.
him
Here he
do that
comes.
because you have a situation. I would sit there. I would sit there and wait. I would sit there and wait.
I wonder
He's
if
got to stall
the
as much time as he can.
other infield umpire might have said, all right, wrap it up, just kind of.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, I
But,
didn't
yeah.
hear you. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We're making dinner plans.
Dinner plans. Come on now. We
As
have
we-
that situation. So Shrewsbury's going to have to ask Siciliano to find a way to get an out here for this team because right now you have runners on the corners, no outs. You've pitched 2 pitches and they've been pretty, like legitimate hits out to the outfield. He's got to find a way to get an out.
Loud hits.
Indeed it is. Runners at the corners, nobody out here in the top of the 6th. Another first pitch swing. This is a ground ball. Up with it, Kinski. On to second and on to first. A double play.
However,
4-6-3, and who asked us?
However, BC High scores a run on the play. We now have a 1-run lead for Shrewsbury here in the top of the 6th. So yes, beautiful job. You couldn't have asked for anything better than that, except being able to hold the runner on third, which you can't with that ball hit to the right side, and you need to get those 2 outs. So right now, if Siciliano can get out of this inning, it would be absolutely huge, giving up only 1 run with 2 outs.
And it's a 4-3 ball game, round of 8, Division I, southwest part of the bracket. Ball down and away from Siciliano
I am still
as Regan is at the plate.
Sorry about that. I am still surprised. Not a lot of urgency out in that bullpen for Shrewsbury.
Siciliano's
Now with the
1-0 missed.
bases cleared and 2 outs, you got a couple extra batters to play with here, I think, Kate.
Yeah.
But let's give credit where credit's due. Kinski and Ham, great job there in the middle to turn that, and Ham just getting it over to first base with a lot of authority.
leadoff
Nice job in the middle right there.
Double for Donahue, and then became the run scored. 4-3, and this one
3
through the
balls in a
glove of
row now.
O'Sullivan. And Siciliano at this point looks like he is just trying to do anything he possibly can to just keep the Colonials in the game, perhaps maintain a 1-run lead at this point.
Lee Diamantopoulos talking outs to the coaching staff out at the bullpen to figure out how much more time are they going to need.
3-0. Missed. Oh, called strike. And the bat flip for Regan, who thought it was ball 4 and now buys a little more
I think
time.
everybody thought that was ball. I thought I already cleared the
And it
board.
might buy him another strike
It
here.
very well might.
3-1
just out of
for
it.
Regan.
How do you
Regan-
feel as an umpire when that happens? A little
What?
A little
It
edgy.
happens.
Yeah.
We all have opinions.
take your time there, kid.
Everyone gets an opinion. Error reached and a run scored for Regan,
Did you
and
see what
then
he did?
popped out
I
to
love
second
it.
base. Saw that one inside underneath
Adam looked
the
back
chest
at the
and hit
umpire
short. Look at that,
before
it's
he
ball 4.
moved. Oh, that was great.
I would have too.
Nice job by Regan.
So
there.
Bill Thomas, I didn't
I
mind
love
the
it.
first one with the bat flip. Now the second one, I mind that. In
Look
case you were
back.
wondering.
Coach
Yeah.
Diamantopoulos coming out
I thought
to
you might.
Don't be cute. You were good the first time. Don't be cute the second time.
Coach Diamantopoulos coming out to make the pitching change.
Yep.
Siciliano coming out. And we'll see who is coming in from the pen for the Colonials.
We'll close the book on Siciliano. We'll total it all for you. We'll introduce you to the reliever. Pitching change here in a 1-run round of 8 game. Shrewsbury on top of BC High, 4-3 in the top of the 6th. The break and we're back with more. This is RFM. The reliever is the designated hitter, Ben Griffith, as we continue here on RFM. In the top of the 6th inning, Colonials 4, Eagles 3, Shrewsbury 4, and BC High 3 in this 4-5 matchup in the round of 8. Conversations ensuing. They're moving positions around. Ben Griffith, Binghamton-bound Ben Griffith, is the reliever. Closed the book on Siciliano. 5 2/3 innings pitched. 4 hits, 3 runs. 2 of them were earned. 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. He leaves the base with just the 1 runner on.
We have a pinch hitter coming up who was just the first base coach for BC High.
Okay.
They had
I saw
to
him.
call him over from the first base coaching box to immediately pick up a bat, and he is pinch hitting.
It's the senior Tim Cooper.
They said, buddy, we need you to bat.
And Tim Cooper sees
Love
the
it.
first pitch, nods, yep, that's a strike. And it's strike number 1. So Cooper hits for Gavin Donahue.
Still action in the pen up for BC High, by the way.
Griffith comes quickly with the second one. Backhand made by O'Sullivan as he had to pull it onto the dirt. Count levels at 1-1 to the pinch hitter Cooper.
Interestingly there, the Shrewsbury catcher asking for that well outside of the zone, having to dive back inside of the zone. So not hitting his spots yet as Griffith.
1 ball and 1 strike to the pinch hitter Cooper. And now the 1-1 down and in. Righty-lefty matchup missed again. Count goes 2 balls and a strike. 2 outs in the inning. The run already in was Donahue, who led off the inning with a double. And Reagan's got the oven mitt. He stands down at first base. He represents the tying run. Griffith's 2-1. Down and in again, 3-1.
Griffith struggling here. Didn't have a lot of time to warm up, but he should be ready. Just having trouble finding the strike zone.
It's a big moment.
Indeed it is. Griffith comes in having thrown 45 1/3 innings. 3-1 pitch to Cooper. Cooper cranks this one to center field. Going back over his head. Martin makes the catch, and it is a loud out number 3. 5.5 complete here at Shrewsbury. 1 run in the inning. A whole bunch of fun. A double, a single, a walk. 1 stranded in the inning for the Eagles. It's Shrewsbury 4, BC High 3. A break, and we're back with more as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. We're at 7, 8, 9 due up for the Colonials. More to come. This is RFM. the bottom of the 6th we go. 7, 8, 9. Singh, Sullivan, Kinski due up in the inning. They will battle Gavin Donahue, who has moved over to the bump from first base.
He's back.
Well, it's a different Donahue this time. The name is back, Kate, if that counts for anything. And this is a ball inside. The Twins, this is the other half of that twin affair. Ball misses inside. Count is 1-0. Singh on the 1-0 pitch. Lifts it toward right center. On his horse is Breeny, and he will make the catch. Great chase out there by Breeny, and he runs it down.
Long run, but had it all the way.
Now batting number 12, Jack O'Sullivan.
Wow.
I don't know if you mentioned, Todd, but BC High's got a new first baseman out there, too.
That is correct, Bill Thomas. And that is Jackson Morse, who takes over at first base from Braintree.
One of the interesting things about the delivery of this particular Donahue, take a look at how far over the top his delivery is compared to his brother's, who is super compact from that right-hand side. Very different delivery from the two brothers.
Jack O'Sullivan comes to the plate. O'Sullivan flew out to right field and then struck out swinging back in the 4th. Sees a first pitch ball, and the count is 1-0.
Still some defensive adjustments for BC High being made by the coaching staff.
1-0 pitch, and O'Sullivan pulls this one down the left field line, and it is a fair ball. He will skid on in as he rounds first and will trot back with a single with 1 out.
Put the brakes on in a hurry there. You know that ball's not rolling. Once it hits that outfield grass, it's like Velcro. Grabs it, so you got to be careful out there if you're a base runner or an outfielder. Saw the center fielder get grabbed by that when the ball took a funny bounce by him or inning it too early.
9 batter up, I believe, for Shrewsbury is what I just heard.
Kinski?
That is correct. Ryan Kinski lined out to right field, walked, and then was retired in the middle of the field.
So if you're BC
back
High,
in the 5th.
this is an out you must have.
The lefty at the plate sees the first pitch, a ball down. It was knocked down by the catcher O'Reilly, but he kept it right there at the plate. He just didn't know it.
Yeah.
And didn't allow the advance for O'Sullivan. It was right up underneath the catcher O'Reilly. Count 1-0 to Kinski. 1 out. Bottom of the 6th inning. 4-3 Shrewsbury's lead. Gavin Donahue sends the 1-0 to the plate. Swing and a miss from Kinski, and it's 1-1. Gavin Donahue has to kind of turn to look on over at first. He's ready at the belt. Little pump with that front foot. Now here comes the 1-1. Strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kinski.
Good looking curveball right there. Just froze Kinski.
O'Sullivan leads away from first. That is a pinch runner down there at first. A courtesy runner for the catcher. It's Cam Marquez down at first base.
This Donahue much more deliberate.
Indeed he is. 1-2 outside, stabbed by O'Reilly. Count level to Kinski. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Very different approach to the pitching from the two brothers.
Kate, all siblings are different.
Oh no, I know that.
He does have
I
the
think
top,
it's great.
He does have the top 2 buttons of his shirt open.
I was going to say, so at least they get dressed together. 2-2. They throw on over to first base. Morris will apply the tag on O'Sullivan.
It's just one of those things. I mean, you presume that they've had obviously the same, similar upbringing, but pitching coaches probably been on the same AAU teams and the same high school teams, and just their approaches as they're pitching very different.
2-2 pitch, uppercut by Kinski, foul over our diamond side broadcast position and out of play.
That's the only comment I was making.
Try another 2-2. I know.
I wasn't suggesting that twins should be mirror images of one another.
We're just having
They don't have to be
conversation.
Twins are
identical.
people too.
That's right. Twins are people too.
I'm well aware.
Donahue looks on over at first. 2-2 pitch to Kinski.
He
Checked up
went.
his swing.
Oh.
The check in the middle of the
Oh.
field. They say no. The bat came off his shoulder, Kate, but I would say he did not cross the front edge of the plate. Count goes to 3-2.
Oh, agree to disagree.
And I would add that the field umpire does not have a good look at that.
More in the center
Much
of the
like
diamond.
as if he was over at third base, who they would normally ask the corner umpires. So good take right there.
3-2 with 1 out. Runner goes at the pitch. It's ball 4.
Good patience right there by Kinski.
Still one out. Top of the order now up for the Colonials. And you see O'Reilly going out to have a discussion with Donahue. And again, you have the situation. Let's not discount how prolific BC High's offense is capable of being. And so you have yet another situation, less than 2 outs. Shrewsbury has base runners. You're now back to the top of the order. In my estimation, you need to make something of this on offense because you still have 3 outs that BC High's offense has to play with, and I wouldn't want to mess with that.
Shrewsbury has a 4-3 lead, 1 out, bottom of the 6th inning. Runners on first and second, and it's Andrew Paris, the left fielder, at the plate. Struck out swinging, grounded out to second base, reached on a fielder's choice, and a run scored in that very loud offensive 5th inning for the Colonials. Sees this one from Donahue, a ball up and in, count 1-0. Donahue looks in for his sign. Got what he wants. Now checks the runner at second. And here he comes. 1-0 breaking ball. Missed. Count 2-0.
And Donahue wanting to know where that missed. I had the same thought as well.
Nice 12-6 breaking ball. Looked like it came right up over the top. Would have cut in at the top of the zone.
High and outside.
Sure. Nice job, though, by the BC High catcher noticing the frustration on your pitcher. And, I mean, and it was visible frustration there, taking the second to go out and probably say, yeah, I agree with you, buddy, but let's, you know.
And we're working with this.
We're working with what we got. I'm making no friends with the men in blue today.
Paris, a little wiggle. Donahue sends the 2-0.
Noticeably got slow here, too.
O'Reilly snaps a throw down. A great application of the tag by Brown out at second base. Nice job jabbing the foot back in there. It was Singh.
Coach Diamantopoulos with a chuckle from the third base coaching box, but has asked.
Marquez
has asked for that base runner.
Yeah, I was looking at that base runner because I didn't have him noted either.
And it's ball 4.
Tough walk right there.
Nice job by Kinski to draw said walk and load the bases full of Colonials once again. And I'm going to just keep going back to that beginning of the bottom of the 5th inning. And here comes Coach Steve Healy out. He has a question.
Perez drawing that walk after Kinski's walk. Back-to-back walks right there after a single with 1 out. That loads up the bases.
I'll go back to the start of the bottom of the 5th inning and say, at that time, if I had asked you, whose fortunes would you have wanted, you would have said, Eagles, Eagles, Eagles. What a change an inning can make.
Second half of the game has really turned around in Shrewsbury's favor, but you notice where it started, bottom half of the order. You know, in the 6th inning, 6, 7, 8, and 9 made it happen, kept the line moving. Now we got this inning going here with, once again, 7, 8, and 9.
A.J. Ham sees a first pitch strike from Gavin Donahue, and now he's asked for time to step out. He's flown out to right field, flown out to center field, singled, and a run scored in the 5th. And the 0-1 down in the dirt and dug out by O'Reilly, and it's a 1-1 count.
O'Reilly's been doing a pretty masterful job back there with those pitches in the dirt, seemingly all with runners on base, doing a nice job keeping things in front of him.
The elder Donahue stands out on the rubber. The 1-1 breaking ball, strike 2.
That was a pretty breaking ball.
Indeed it was. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count to the shortstop Ham, who's got Colonials all around. They've got Donahue surrounded. He's looking to get himself out of trouble.
One out here, looking to at least make a productive out if you're going to make an out here.
And the pitch, breaking ball, high chopper. Everyone's got a charge. Bohane up with it, comes home for an out. Great play by Bohane, make the decision on the run and threw a little dart home that O'Reilly had to dig off his shoe tops, kept his foot down on the plate. It's a fielder's choice that allows Ham to make it to first base, move everybody over, but more importantly, the out 5-2 is number 2 in the inning.
Yeah, very good play right there. And a nice job by O'Reilly to make sure he was on home plate there. Sometimes the catcher can get a little lost when things are going on there, but umpire had a good look at it. But, yeah, difficult throw there coming in from Bohan, but O'Reilly, once again, doing a great job behind the plate, all aspects of the game.
So 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Alex Martin, the center fielder, at the plate. has singled twice, lined out to second base in his middle at bat. And takes a first pitch he sees from Donahue. Lofts it toward right field. On the hunt for it and not able to make the play is Capozzi. The run is around third, will score. Second one on the way to the plate. And it's a 2 RBI double for Alex Martin, who took one over the head of the right fielder Capozzi. Bill Thomas, you were waiting for it all day. Capozzi's been playing in. That one lobbed out to right field.
He was playing way too shallow, 10 to 20 feet shallow in the Shrewsbury right fielder. So shallow, you talked about the way the infield's crowned. We could not see his shoe tops. And I just had a bad feeling about him getting a ball hit over his head there. And so be it, it did. And he stumbled a little bit out of the gate, couldn't make up for it. And nice double over his head right there. And he paid the price for playing shallow.
A bases clearing. All 3 runs score for Shrewsbury.
And it is 7-3 Shrewsbury.
First pitch, too.
You know, we looked at how close they were to, even though they scored a lot of runs, bases clearing almost hit to right field in inning 2 earlier, but that one fell in.
And Griffith sees a ball miss inside, and that levels the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
BC High's got action going back out to the pen yet again.
Yeah, they've got to try to stem the tide here. 7-3 Shrewsbury on top of BC High.
I don't know if you mentioned it, Todd, but Martin with 4 RBIs today of the 7 runs Colonials have scored.
And Griffith takes the 1-1, lofts it toward Capozzi in right field, drop step, settles underneath and makes the catch. 7 batters come to the plate in the inning, and 3 runs scored on the bases clearing 3 RBI double for Alex Martin. And through 6 complete here in Shrewsbury. It's Shrewsbury 7 and BC High 3. A break and we're back with more. The postseason continues right here on our FM. To the top of the 7th inning we go, and the Colonials huddle up down on the rubber. Everybody in the infield gets together, and out they come. 8-9 top is due up in the inning. Brown, O'Reilly, and Mann for the Eagles. 7-3 Shrewsbury's lead.
Talk about insurance runs, Todd and Kate. Shrewsbury put 3 big insurance runs up there in the half of the 6th.
And Griffith now pitching with a 4-run lead. Sends ball 1 to Damian Brown, and the count is 1-0.
You know, the coaching staff, Shrewsbury just wants strikes here.
1-0 in the kitchen of Brown. Count goes to 2-0.
We see action down in the bullpen, but it's BC Eagle Highs have got action, and that's optimistic, but I like to see that.
Presuming that they are going to, if things continue, they're going to need a new hurler. Griffith sends the 2-0 to Brown. Check swing, never left his shoulder, and that's what they say down at first. Count 3-0.
What's surprising is I don't see any action for Shrewsbury down there. It's quiet, and the game right now is in Griffith's hands.
And when you have a Division I commit, I think, Bill Thomas, that's a lot of confidence. 3-0, strike, 3-1.
Yeah, I'd say you got to kind of leave him out there and ride your horse and see what he's going to give you.
That's right. He's reached that point. 3-1 pitch. Brown lofts this one out toward left field. Drifting over. This one has a lot of hang time. Goes to his right a couple of times, and then Paris back to his left to make the catch for out number 1.
The wind swirling around a little bit out there too, Todd and Kate, and but good job by Paris out there to track it down, flashing those sunglasses, even though the sun is off to the side a little bit, but better be safe than sorry out there. Be surprised if that high sky has something to do with the need for the sunglasses also. Good job.
And Griffith starts off O'Reilly with a ball in the dirt, and the count is 1-0.
And let's just mention, good job by Griffith there, coming back strong after falling behind Brown.
1-0 missed, count 2-0. O'Reilly back into the box. Griffith, 2-0 pitch. Missed up and away, count 3-0. O'Reilly singled stranded at third, grounded out to third base in his last at bat. And 4 pitches, all balls.
Now what you want to see if you're in the Shrewsbury coaching staff. Easy 4-pitch walk right there when it's exactly what the BC High Eagles are looking for as base runners.
And the quick courtesy runner change. O'Reilly reaches first on the walk and then comes out. He's lifted for the courtesy runner, Andrew Manning. And it's back to the top of the order, Mike Mann at the plate. Mann has come to the plate 3 times. He has grounded out and been retired by the shortstop Ham on all 3 occasions. 1 in the 1st, 2nd, and 5th. Fastball for strike 1. Griffith looks over his shoulder at Manning. Now comes set. The 0-1. Fastball for strike 2, and the count is 0-2.
Much different approach to this batter than the 4-pitch walk he just gave up to the number 9 hitter.
A little wiggle for Mann. Griffith ready at the chest. 0-2 pitch. In the dirt, gets away from O'Sullivan. And on down to second base goes O'Reilly.
Griffith struggling here a little bit.
The 1-2 pitch outside, and the count goes to 2-2.
Still no action down in the Shrewsbury bullpen. They're leaving this in Griffith's hands.
2 balls and 2 strikes. O'Reilly lifted for Manning at second. Going with the pitch. Down the right field line, that one will fall in. It's a single and puts runners at the corners with 1 out here. Chasing 4 is BC High, but these are the kind of connections that they need to make in order to, of course, have a little fun. Kate, at this point, it's about get a hit, move a runner, get a hit, move a runner, get a hit, move a runner, and just keep moving things around.
Right, on BC High's side of the ball, that's exactly right. You still have 2 outs to play with. You've got base runners on, and it's one of those situations where you're not, with one swing, you're not necessarily looking to even the score. The outfield fence here at Shrewsbury is prolifically far away, particularly between left and right center fields. So essentially, you're looking for singles and doubles to move base runners. If you're Shrewsbury, you're just looking for outs.
And that brings Nico Brini to the plate. Pitch from Griffith comes to the backstop, and the count is 1-0.
You know, Kate, to expand on your point, it just puts that much more sense of urgency on Griffith's ability to throw strikes here. You know, you don't want free base runners. The fact they're probably not going to hit the ball over the fence, but you want them to put it in play.
The 0-1 in the dirt, and O'Sullivan has to dig it out, but the count goes to 2-0. Brini doubled and stranded in the first, struck out looking in the second, grounded out to second base in the fifth. Been a little all over the map today. Runners positioned at the corners.
One of the few left-handed hitters in the BC High lineup.
Griffith, chin to chest, 1-1. Strike 2. Well, the board shows strike 2, but I've got this at 2-1. Is that
I've
just
got
me?
1 and 2.
1 and 2, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
So that was a foul to the backstop then, excuse me.
Yep.
I had looked down. Ball came to the backstop, thought he got away from him on the first pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Brini. Griffith's 1-2. Brini goes down, digs it up, lofted down the left side of the field. Taking charge is Ham, and Ham comes over and makes the catch.
Taking charge like he should. Keep that third baseman from having to back up into that play. Nice job right there for that second out of the inning.
2 pop-outs induced to the left side by Griffith this inning. And now it's Ronan Donahue who comes to the plate.
BC High got the situation they want here. Number 3 hitter. That was the 2, 3, and 4 trying to come through for him here.
Down to their final outs. Ronan Donahue, who started the ball game on the mound and had a commanding performance for 4 innings, sees a first pitch strike from Griffith. He was hit by a pitch in the first, then stranded, flew out to right field, and then doubled and became the run scored in the 6th, which brought it back to a 1-run game. Ball in the dirt. O'Sullivan digs it out, keeps it in front of him at least, and more importantly in front of the runner Manning.
Nice job right there. Off his shoulder. Able to, once again, Todd, comment, keep it in front of him. Good job by O'Sullivan today. Especially working at that curveball with the
I was going to say, he's had an adventure
pitches.
with both pitchers,
Absolutely.
right? 1-1 pitch, breaking ball, strike 2.
Right there, holding that pitch too, giving the umpire to get a chance to look at it. Nice job once again by O'Sullivan.
And BC High's season is down to its final strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the batter Donahue with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. Griffith shakes off the first sign, got the one he wants now. Donahue looks out at Griffith. Griffith in at O'Sullivan. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball, called strike 3.
Hit
Game over.
hit. Woo! That's the way to close him out. Leaves Donahue there standing at the plate, wondering what could have been.
It is a 7-3 Shrewsbury victory in comeback fashion. The Colonials went through the first 4 innings seemingly futile offensively, and then they explode for 4 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning and 3 insurance runs in the 6th. They win 7-3 on home field to move on in this MIAA Division I postseason tournament.
You know, we wondered how long it was going to take before we could see a home team we're covering score a run, but Shrewsbury didn't let us down, Todd and Kate. Came back with that big 5th inning. Tacked on 3 more in the 6th, and that's all she wrote.
And the celebration ensues for the Navy and Vegas Gold. And a great ball game here today. 7-3 the final. That offensive explosion was what we had been thinking existed, at least the potential for it existed, and then it came at a timely fashion. We're going to total it all up for you here. Post-game extra is next. Shrewsbury wins on home field 7-3, the final score over BC High here today. Hope you're enjoying this one on same-day delay here on RFM, facebook.com/Media Rivalry, youtube.com. Search Rivalry Family Media. Like, follow, and subscribe. With the win, Shrewsbury advances on to the Final Four. Here in baseball, they'll get the winner of Franklin and Bridgewater Raynham later next week. More information to come. We'll total it all up for you. Post-game extra next. Shrewsbury is a winner, 7-3, the final score. More to come. This is RFM. Well, you've been enjoying watching us set up for post-game here as we continue on RFM. Bill Thomas adjusted a little camera. We've got a post-game interview coming up here in a matter of moments here at our Diamond Side broadcast position. So we say hello to you, Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas. Great to have you along with us after the end of this one. Shrewsbury, a 7-3 win over BC High in a fun baseball game here on a Saturday afternoon high above the town of Shrewsbury today, and great to have you along with us. Hope you've enjoyed this one. Comeback fashion for the Colonials. That's been the name of the game in this one. 7-3. The final score. And Bill Thomas, it really, you got to go back to the beginning of this game to kind of see how things span along. So we'll move our way forward with this. As you look at the opening inning of the baseball game, both teams get base runners, they get 2 outs, and then eventually they give it up. So we go scoreless through 1, but certainly it looked like we were talking at that time about pitch to contact, getting the timely hit, and then, of course, obviously producing runs. And through 1, it looked like that was the ball game we were going to see.
Yeah, and it was, we talked about we liked the action. We didn't really want to see a pitcher's duel, but the way things settled out, we did see a pitcher's duel from innings 2 to 5 and really sped things along. And, it changed our outlook of how things were going to end up here. It was like we're playing for 1 or 2 runs here, and all of a sudden Shrewsbury finds a way to put the foot to the pedal or to the metal and comes up with 4 timely runs there and bats around in that 5th inning and really changed the entire complexion. At one point, both starting pitchers set down more than 10 in a row in between innings 2 through 5, but both sides seemed to run out of gas simultaneously, but Shrewsbury was the first one to take advantage of it. BC High Eagles tried to battle back there with a single run with some base runners in innings 5, 6, and 7, but too little, too late.
They score 2 runs, do the Eagles in the second. They get a leadoff error. Adam Regan is able to reach on a throwing error, and then eventually becomes the first run scored. 2 batters later, it's a walk for Damian Brown. He gets singled in after working his way around the diamond on the RBI single from Shea O'Reilly, and it's quickly 2-0 Eagles through 1.5, and that 2 runs stood up through innings 3 and 4, where both teams were retired top and bottom of the innings in order. And then you work your way to the 5th inning, where in the top of the 5th, the Eagles go in order in the top of the 5th inning. And then the Colonials in the bottom half of the inning, their offense explodes. We were talking about it at the beginning of the inning, and Billy, you've reminded us a couple of times now of where they were. It was offensively pretty ugly to that point in time for the Colonials. They just, they could not find their way out of it. And then all of a sudden, here comes that bottom of the 5th inning, and the team that had multiple, and by multiple we mean close to a dozen double-digit wins this year, explodes for that offense. They open the inning with a Jack Bates single, follow it up with a Dushyant Singh walk. Then you've got a strikeout for Jack O'Sullivan, and then you've got the beginnings of course, a fielder's choice situation. It was a walk for Kinski. He gets retired, but a run comes in. Now you work your way to the top of the order. Paris reaches on a fielder's choice. Now the run comes in. Colonials have found themselves in a 2-0 ball game, and of course there was the throwing error. It actually comes up in the next at-bat. You've got 2-1 at that point. In the next at-bat, there is the throw toward first. It was a fake by the pitcher Ronan Donahue, the starter for the Eagles, to third. Turns around, airmails first base, trying to pick off a runner behind, and that allows the run to come in. And we're tied at 2 at that point. Colonials add a couple of more runs in the inning, and after 5, it's 4-2 Shrewsbury.
But the key to that inning, Todd, look where it started. 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yes.
3 out of those 4 batters gets on base, helps keep the line moving. Top of the order comes up and takes care of business.
And that throwing error seems like it really did make things feel more possible at that point as well.
Well, let's talk about how Donahue kind of came unhinged a little bit. He was working very fast.
In great command.
He kept contact with the rubber, not stepping off, not walking around, waiting for the batters to get in there. And we talked about Shrewsbury breaking his rhythm. As soon as he got a couple of base runners on, he started looking around. He lost his concentration, had that overthrow. All it took was a couple of base runners to get him to slow down a little bit, kind of maybe get into his head a little bit, get him thinking about the situation more than just getting the ball and firing it back to the catcher, playing catch. He had to get into a little more of strategic baseball mode. and he lost his way around the plate, and before you know it, he was out of the game.
Indeed, he did. And then things go quiet for the Eagles in the 6th, although they do start things off a little loud. Ronan Donahue, after getting lifted the previous inning, comes up, leads off the 6th for the Eagles with a double, eventually becomes a run scored, and that closed the game at that time to 4-3, and all of a sudden it felt like, wow, we're going to be down to perhaps the final team at bat gets the opportunity to score, and all of a sudden home field advantage feels like a lot. Then you go to the bottom of the 6th inning, and here come the Colonials again. They open up the inning with a fly out to center field by Dushyant Singh. Then they get a single from Jack O'Sullivan. A walk sets things up, and then eventually a fielder's choice on down the line starts to produce a run. Then you go to Alex Martin's double, and that scores a 3 RBI double for Alex Martin, and all of a sudden it is 7-3 Shrewsbury, and that's the lead that they would close down, although the 7th inning has got a few marks on the page. You got a walk, a single in there. At the end of the day, Griffith comes in, shuts the door, and they get themselves a 7-3 win out of this 4-5 matchup in the round of 8 to advance themselves to the baseball Final Four here in Division I in 2022.
Yeah, and let's go back and just look at that 6th inning again. 7, 8, 9, Todd. Yeah, the 7 hitter flies out to center field, but puts the ball in play. But 8 and 9 get on base. Main things happen. Before you know it, top of the order comes around. Bases clearing double down the right field line, which we kind of anticipated. Said Capuzzi playing really shallow down there. He made some great plays from that shallow position, but it ended up costing him at the end. And the ball over his head by the
double was Alex Martin.
And
took it out to right field.
And that was really the difference in the game because that takes all the pressure off. The team in the top of the 7th as far as let's just play baseball. Let's throw strikes. Griffith come in, and he struggled a little bit, but he could afford to, have a little bit of inconsistency right there. And but he did the job in the end, like he was expected to do. No action in the Shrewsbury bullpen. They fully expect him to close it out, and he did.
It's one of the first times a lefty took the ball down that right field line and pulled it deep down and over the head of Capozzi. And we had talked about it early in the game. Brini and Capozzi were so well placed in center and right field. They seemingly were right where they needed to be at each of the different points. And all of a sudden, they're in a situation where, maybe not at that point in time.
It was all good until it wasn't.
And that is correct.
And on top of it, Capozzi, when he turned to run, a little bit of a stumble, lost a half a step, and the ball wasn't that far over his outstretched glove, but it did roll out towards the fence, and bases cleared.
About a 2-hour ball game there. Final line stats here. It's a 7-3 Shrewsbury win. Shrewsbury has 8 hits to BC's 5. They each had an error. Both teams stranded 6 on base in their offensive innings. The winning pitcher is David Siciliano, 5 2/3, 4 hits, 3 runs. 2 of them were earned, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts by our unofficial total. Meanwhile, the loss to Ronan Donahue, 4 2/3 innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned. 2 walks and 4 strikeouts for the starter for BC High. The relievers, Ben Griffith comes in, throws a scoreless 1 1/3 innings pitched, 1 hit, no runs, therefore none earned, 2 walks and a strikeout. Relievers for BC High, Evan Dow, 1/3 of an inning, 2 hits, no runs, a walk and a strikeout. Gavin Donahue, 1 inning pitched, 2 hits, 3 runs, they were all earned, 2 walks, did not have a strikeout in relief for the Eagles. It was a tidy 2-hour and some change ball game here on the hill in Shrewsbury. Quite a game it was. Colonials advance on. They get the winner of Franklin and Bridgewater Raynham. Before Coach Diamantopoulos comes over and joins us for a final post-game word, a bit of a programming note. Coming up next week, next Friday, that is the 17th of June, Bill Thomas, if I'm not mistaken, next Friday. We've got a little football action for you here on RFM.
Football in June?
Football in June.
Woo!
That would seem
we were
weird.
Football in April last
I was going to say, that would seem weird except for last year's COVID-modified
exactly
season.
Right.
Otherwise, you would say, who plays football in the summer? But we've got all-star football for you. You know, of course, course, the NFL has their Pro Bowl in Central Massachusetts. They've got their MIAA Football Chapter All-Star Game. That's next Friday night. We'll have the action for you here on RFM in two parts. We will have an RFM audio special live broadcast from inside the bowl when it happens next Friday night. That game is slated for a 7 o'clock kickoff. We'll have a countdown to kickoff for you. Stay tuned for that information out there on Twitter. We'll have that information for you. Then we'll have a replay of that action, the complete and total package of the broadcast, video, audio, the complete special coming up for you on RFM next Saturday as well. We'll have for you live on Facebook.com as well as on YouTube, both the audio and video broadcast for that one. So we're looking forward to that. And of course, gives us an opportunity to thank the MIAA chapter of the National Football Foundation for recognizing Rivalry Family Media, Billy, Kate, and myself, with their media award here in 2022. So we'll say thank you to them now during a programming note, an opportunity to thank them again next Friday night with a broadcast that we just found out is an RFM exclusive. And so we're looking forward to having that
Much
for
like
you
today
as well.
was.
Indeed it was. And we thank the great folks at the MIAA while we wait for Coach Diamantopoulos with the following. This public service announcement brought to you by the MIAA. High school sports provides an extension of the classroom where students learn to pursue excellence, the value of working with others toward a common goal, and playing within the structure of established rules, discipline, loyalty, and emotional control. The MIAA urges you to demonstrate your support for these values and for our young people by attending high school competitions in your community. This message brought to you by the Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association, the MIAA, building the future through interscholastic athletics. We've got more to come. Post-game extra continues. We'll have Coach Lee Diamantopoulos joining us at our Diamond Side broadcast position in a matter of moments. You stay with us. This is RFM. You know, there's never enough hands when you need them. Back to our Diamond Side broadcast position. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robinson, joined now by Shrewsbury head coach Lee Diamantopoulos. Coach, congratulations. Great to have you here on RFM. And, of course, a great victory here today. They left you stranded there for a little while on an island. But all of a sudden, a team which, you know, we noted during the broadcast going into that fifth inning, fortuitously enough, that you had about a dozen double-digit wins this year. So producing offense is not something you all have struggled with, but there was some very cold innings there offensively.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think back through the game here, and it was a slow start for sure. We got down early, and pretty much this second half of the season, we been focused on just having good at-bats and trying to simplify things and putting the ball in play. And, again, just trying to hit the fastball. And once you get string a couple good at-bats together, it becomes contagious and, build some life within the team. And I think we were able to do that during a couple at-bats when we scored some innings. And, it turned into some positive momentum for us. So it was good. It woke the team up a little bit, both on the field and on the bench a little bit.
If you start, let's even go into the action before we even get to this game today. Baseball is an interesting sport. A lot of sports have had the benefit of video review and the ability to see your opponent and get a chance to do a lot of kind of scout work. Baseball is still one of those sports where you're not getting a lot of scouting video because there's not a lot of video production to find of your opponent. But instead, you've got a lot of the scout work of your own team. So you spend a lot of time focusing on yourselves and not so much worrying about your team. If you want to see the other team, you've got to actually go see them. You had a lot of common opponents this year with this team. Of course, St. John's, Crosstown, your Crosstown rival being one of them, Wachusett, and others. How much does that help coming in to at least give you a chance to develop at least an understanding for a team when you're playing a team on a statewide basis?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to get make yourself overwhelmed with information. So if there's a few things you can pick up on, you go with that because, I mean, you and you guys know it's just so many variables to consider when you see someone play another team, if it's, whatever their pitcher's like and, who do they have on the mound and, you can go on and on about things. So it was, I don't think we had them pegged. But we were able to get some information on them, and thankfully some people within our program, our younger coaches, put in some work and did some homework, and it definitely helped us today. And
I think it certainly can. It's a benefit to certainly be able to have those opportunities. So you finally, that fifth inning comes, and it's like you uncorked some excitement. All of a sudden, things start to string together in the right combination of things, and it wasn't as if the first couple of innings you didn't have runners on. You had runners on, you just didn't have the right hit to the right spot. It was the line drive, into an out or so on. This was a great opportunity to, of course, get a chance where things started to string together. One thing after another. Good things happen when you put the ball in play.
Yeah, and that's kind of who we are. We just got to string things together. I mean, we definitely have leaders and all-star players, but we've had different guys step up for us each game, and it was great to see us wake up a little bit. And like I said, when you get that spark, it's definitely very helpful. And, you could feel after they got their lead, they're an excellent team, but you could see them get a little comfortable and settle in a little bit. And I think we were able to throw a good punch out there and take momentum and build off of that. So I think that was a big turning point for us.
We said going into that fifth inning a couple of times, at that point when you think back on the ball game, now whose fortunes would you have rather had at that point in time? And you would have said over and over and over again, you would have rather been BC High. You reach the end of the fifth inning, and all of a sudden, I think the Colonials would have been the place you would have rather been. And 3 outs can make all the difference one way or another in a baseball game. And certainly here, your pitcher took that as a kind of a great bonus. All of a sudden, he hung in there. You would have thought he might have been the guy chased from the game first. Instead, he watched the opposite starter who had been dominating chased out of the game before he was.
Yeah, David settled in. I mean, we had a couple blunders there, and those things unfortunately happen sometimes. You don't want them to happen in big games like this, especially this late in the season, but credit to him to settle right back in. We reset ourselves in between innings as a coaching staff and just as a whole operation of getting, just getting back on the same page. And Dave was able to execute. I think it was around 11 in a row at one point. So, I know for a lot of people that doesn't go unnoticed, but it can easily go unnoticed because we were so focused on the offensive side in the second part of the game there. And David just gave us a chance to win, and it was great to see the team pick him up.
Again, an opportunity then to go to Griffith later on in the ball game. He comes in, throws scoreless relief, and you find yourself out of here with a 7-3 win in comeback fashion. And it's a short turnaround. You're on into next week. You're into the Final Four. That's the exciting part. You get a couple days off here. And, of course, this is the part of the school year where, of course, the seniors are gone, graduation's done. Nothing is normal and nothing is the same. For you it is, much like myself as an educator. Yeah. Our days look the same, but now with your student-athletes, everybody's got a little bit of a different mindset here. Spring sports, I find, are one of the most, I think, difficult and unique sports to have to coach and maintain that focus because so many variables change, which, of course, as a coach, you want as few variables moving as humanly possible.
Yeah, I mean, I'm now, being an adult, I'm definitely a creature of habit, working in education, things of that sort, and I had no idea. I mean, when you're playing in high school or even college, you're oblivious to all that.
Sure.
And, yes, but with coaching football in the fall and basketball in the winter, and now baseball in the spring, obviously. There's so many challenges in the spring season, and there's good distractions. So you don't want to, talk down anything that all these other
Sure.
good things that these kids are experiencing. But it really comes down, I think, which teams can keep their focus when they need to, and make sure they keep their priorities in order. And so you don't, after one of these games, just look back and say what happened, and take advantage of these opportunities that are in front of them. And I'm very thankful I have a committed and loyal team.
The draw didn't do you any favors here. You knew you ended up in this spot, whereas the 4 seed, you were on the one side of the bracket. So you've got either Franklin and Bridgewater Raynham, one of those two, on into next week. What do you know about either of these teams? And of course, what does this statewide playoff do to game preparation?
Yeah, I mean, there's a balance of just making sure that your guys are ready, and you want to keep the focus on yourself, but realize that no matter who we're playing, it's going to be an excellent team, and it's going to provide a lot of challenges for us. We did scrimmage Franklin earlier in the season, in late March, but they're a completely different team.
Of
now,
course,
I'm sure. So, I mean, we'll see what they're like. I mean, thankfully we could go watch them play tonight, and we'll see what we can get out of that, and apply that to our game plan and just make sure our guys are ready.
Well, you've got a drive ahead of you then. You have a lot of fun. Coach Lee Diamantopoulos, thank you so much for joining us here just a little bit after a great win today.
Todd, appreciate the coverage.
Thank you so much.
All right, man.
More to come. We'll stay right here with us here on RFM. Final word here. Kate Robbins rejoins us, and Kate, an opportunity to close things out here. What was a great 7-3 win for Shrewsbury, and Coach Diamantopoulos kind enough to spend a few minutes with us before he heads off to scout.
That's right.
As you've got to go to Franklin and find out if it's Franklin or Bridgewater Raynham next week.
The entire coaching staff, I believe, is going, because he is not the first, not the second. I believe he's the third or fourth of the Shrewsbury coaching staff that mentioned that they were headed to Franklin. So the full contingent is going to be on hand to be able to make sure that they are well prepared for, I believe, Athletic Director Jay Costa tells me Tuesday at Holy Cross. So the College of Holy Cross, we believe, is where the next matchup will be. But nice that we have staggered start times here so that the coaching staff can go.
Absolutely.
It is an advantage for the Shrewsbury coaching staff to be able to trek it out to that game in Franklin, and because neither of those teams were able to come and see this. So now you have the advantage, unless those teams can find this particular coverage, and then they'll be able to see, but they won't be able to see in the flesh. So that's a huge advantage for Shrewsbury. But a very long day of coaching and then scouting on tap. But that's why you love spring sports. These coaches don't do it because they're looking to get rich. They do it for the love of the game. So they are excited, and long day.
Absolutely, and it's an opportunity, of course, to continue on and continue your season moving forward as well. Kate, you look at the final line here, and I mean, it pretty much says it all. Both teams stranded 6, which was, I think, interesting to say the least. But you go beyond that, and of course, you're talking about a handful of hits in both directions, but the hits came at the right time for both teams offensively. But in the end, Shrewsbury, we'll say, had, in the end, more of those. That 5th and 6th inning offensively, totally different than innings 1, 2, 3, and 4.
You're absolutely right. And we said it live because you could feel it. You could feel that 5th inning was a must. It was a must-have offensively for Shrewsbury, and they mirrored, more effectively in my opinion, they mirrored what we saw out of BC High, both offensively and defensively in the first portion of the game. The Shrewsbury 5th and 6th, both offensively and defensively, that really, to me, just their execution, their ability to limit mistakes on defense, their ability to come in and stem the tide and stop the bleeding just enough. Absolutely huge in that instance. But again, my tip of the cap to BC High, because offensively, pretty prolific situation going on there. And even with a lead, you knew it was precarious at best. And BC High gave them a run for their money.
Indeed they did, and a fun one that we enjoyed here today. 7-3 Shrewsbury winner, 4 tops 5 to advance on. Get the winner of Franklin and Bridgewater Raynham next week, Tuesday-ish.
I believe Tuesday at the College of the Holy Cross.
That's where
we have been invited.
What we have been. I believe we would be. Thank you so much. If the game starts at the right time, we'll even take that invitation and arrive for that one as well. Kate, last time we checked in through 5 out in Milton, it was 8-2. Milton on top of Leominster in the Division 2 round of 8.
That's correct. That was the last update that we had. I will look again, however.
If we can say that, and this will give me an opportunity on a programming side of things to remind you that's coming up next Friday night. That is Friday, the 17th of June. Stay tuned to RFM. We'll have a pregame for you as we get ready for action football in the spring. Go figure, right? It's all-star football, and we got it for you. It's the Mawinnie chapter of the National Football Foundation sponsoring the Central Massachusetts High School Football Classic. We'll have that action for you and all that it is to come. First time for the 3 of us to go out and see the all-star game, and so we're looking forward to be a part of that one. It's at Doyle Field. You can come on out and be a part of it. We'll have the live audio play-by-play for you at our usual locations, Facebook.com/Media Rivalry and YouTube.com. Search Rivalry Family Media or tinyurl.com/Media Rivalry for that action as well. Like, follow, and subscribe today. We upload content. We go live with content. You get the information on your smart-enabled device so that you can tune in and be a part of that one. Then we'll have the full coverage, audio and video, all together, available on those same locations about 24 hours after that game goes live. And, Kate, you've got a final score for us.
We have a final score out of Milton. Milton 8-3. Your final
so
over
Leominster
Leominster.
able to add one more, so the Blue Devils baseball season
Over.
concludes today with the loss in the round of 8. But again, kudos to them. They had some struggles, got themselves into the playoffs, probably not clicking on all cylinders, string together a couple of wins, get themselves into the round of 8. And it speaks, of course, to the type of program that Leominster's put together. Unfortunately, didn't pan out for them in the end.
Yes, not this year. They kind of had a situation offensively. It was either feast or famine, it seemed like this year. They had a lot of games where offensive production was definitely not an issue. And then they had some games where offensive production was absolutely the primary problem. And so it has been feast or famine offensively for the Blue Devils. And if you get them on the right day, you're going to be, able to not only score against them, but you're going to be able to limit them to next to no offensive production. And then there are going to be other nights that you can't keep them off the base paths. And so it's one of those Jekyll and Hyde type situations offensively. And situation today where Milton came in, they were able to put up 8, and they were able to limit the offensive production of the Blue Devils, and that's kind of what we've seen all season long.
Indeed they did, and ultimately it ended up working out for Milton in that one to advance on. But we had a great game for you here today on RFM, and we enjoyed it. Thank the great folks at the MIAA for their support of this coverage as well, and thank the great folks here at Shrewsbury on the athletic side of things, led by Athletic Director Jay Costa. We thank them so much for their support of this coverage as well, and we thank you for joining us here on RFM this afternoon, where once again the final score in the 4-5 matchup in the Southwest region, if you will, of the Division I round of 8. Shrewsbury comes back to top BC High 7-3, the final score in this one. It's available for you anytime you want it. Facebook, YouTube, on demand. Search Rivalry Family Media. Like, follow, and subscribe today. We appreciate it. Content goes up. You get access to it on your smart-enabled device. Literally, it's content that finds you. You can't lose in that method as well. I want to thank Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, head coach Lee Diamantopoulos for joining us here on the broadcast as well, and thank all of you for being a part of our family over the last couple of hours. For all of us here at RFM, I am Todd Robbins. Until next time, at a minimum, next Friday night, we say so long, everybody.